Hey everyone, this episode of the Smoking Tire Podcast is brought to you by Auto Tempest. You know how you spend all your free time looking for cars to buy on the internet? That's you too, right? That's not just me. I figured it was you too, because if it was just me, that would be weird and that would make me weird. But I'm not weird. We're all a little weird because we spend way too much time looking at cars on the internet. But here you go, folks. You ready for this? I'm going to help you out. Autotempest.com. Rather than spending all this time doing double work, I hate double work so much. Rather than spending all the time doing double work looking at the same car on a dozen different sites, how about you just go to Autotempest.com and search all the top car listing sites in one place. Sites like Cars.com, eBay Motors, Car Soup, Cars Direct, and more. Then compare those results with AutoTrader and all of Craigslist, folks. Not just your local Craigslist, the national Craigslist. Find the exact car you want for the best price without wasting a ton of your time browsing around at all these different sites, right? Your time is worth something. You're a hard worker. You shouldn't have to do double work to find a car. Autotempest.com will do that work for you, folks. Check it out, Autotempest.com. This episode of The Smoking Tire is also brought to you by Dylan Optics Sunglasses. Yeah, brother. Now available in prescription. We now have women's sizes. If you, I know we're a man-heavy show out there, but if you wanted to get something for your ladies, you can get prescription women's if you want, or prescription men's. There are metal frames, plastic frames, all available with the NIR lens matte finish technology. It doesn't just look cool, folks. It's also really, really easy on the eyes. The glass is really amazing in Dylan. That's what keeps me going back to them. The matte finish is nice, but what keeps me going back to Dylan's is the glass. Go to thesmokingtire.com and click on that Dylan banner under the Partners tab, and I will send you a free Smoking Tire t-shirt with every pair of Dylans that you buy. And last but not least, Beeline coffee. I'm drinking it right now. It's delicious. Well, I don't know if I can legally say nutritious, but certainly not bad for you. This is delicious coffee. It's very high end. It is single origin, micro batched. The flavor profiles are bang on. In fact, the flavor profiles are written on the bag. I drink Beeline every single day, so much they gave me my own roast, and I'm trying to share that Beeline love with you. Go to BeelineCoffee.com and enter code TST at checkout, and 15% off your entire order, folks. Everything, no matter how big or small, 15% off with code TST at BeelineCoffee.com. On this episode of the show, we welcome back our old friend Jonny Lieberman. He brings with him a lovely bottle of very rare, delicious Four Roses bourbon, and we have a nice discussion about the current crop of performance cars that both of us have been driving. We don't always see eye to eye on everything. I like having Jonny in because not every response is an agreement. We have disagreements, and it's very fun. This is a great show. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a couple hours of two nerds yapping about cars. It's The Smoking Tire with Jonny Lieberman. 3, 2, Wheezy.
Correct link, Johnny.
Smoking Tire Podcast. Hello. Bienvenue on this Monday afternoon. My fucking body hurts, and I'll tell you why in a minute. Jonny Lieberman has entered the building.
Hello.
Welcome.
Hey.
L'chaim.
L'chaim.
How are you?
I'm so tired, man. I tried to slam a whole coffee.
Bring your microphone a little closer.
Yeah. Tried to slam a whole coffee, and now I'm just sweating, and I'm still tired.
That happens.
Yeah.
Every time I'm like, ooh, I need energy coffee, and then it turns into, why am I sweating so much?
Yeah, I was trying to pregame, like, I'm going to do a good show, and
you're going to do a good show.
I'm just sweating.
Of course you're going to do a good show.
Everything's good. You
always do a good show.
I try.
You have a great 80s t-shirt on right now.
Thank you.
Love it.
Thank you very much.
It seems like you've been having fun in life.
Life is
on
fun.
Instagram.
Life is fun.
Which is where I see you most of the time.
That's actually where I am most of the time. Sadly.
This is your
few
first
followers
time.
I have.
It's your first time going link in bio.
Oh, no, I do link in bio. I just take like an hour to think about what I'm going to say and do. And this is like, do it now. We're live. It's like,
Yeah. I hope the live experience doesn't take away too much from the people who listen later. I think it's good for everybody. For those of you listening live and watching live on YouTube, hello. For those of you not who are like, live, what the fuck are they talking about? We go live on YouTube now. We post the link on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram when we go live, and you can pretty much, I think, just go to the YouTube channel and it's there.
Yeah,
right?
It should be on the main part of our channel.
We share the link, but you don't actually need the direct link. If we're like, hey, we're going live, and you just go to our YouTube channel, it will appear. And about that, we use this thing that's built into YouTube, and it's called Super Chat. And for a small donation to the show, you can ask us questions that we can answer live on the show if they are pertinent, or if they're not pertinent to ongoing conversation, we will answer them like your car advice questions at the end of the show. The idea of this feature is that by having the viewers who want to watch and interact live do a small donation to work with the show, we could eliminate advertising. That's the goal.
That's great. I also totally hosed you because I put up a thing like, hey, actually, I hosed my fans.
Ask questions?
Ask me questions.
I saw that, but you didn't know.
I didn't know.
Okay.
I didn't know. I'll never do it again.
And what'll happen is you're going to disappoint them.
Yeah. Yeah. Once again, as always. Right on time. Yeah.
Anyway, enough of the plugs. The contents are here. Should we start with the bourbon?
Yeah, always. So I always come here and I bring little sample bottles, and
they're delicious.
I've reached a point where now that, so I have, you'd have to see my liquor cabinet, but I have all my open bottles on display, and I have a big underneath thing that's storage, which is full. And I had to like move 3 bottles to another piece of furniture. And my wife's like, why are those Scotch bottles on the table? And I'm like, oh, that's where they live now. She's like, no, they don't. So it's like,
you get that cabinet and that wall and that's it.
Yeah. So I literally have to give booze away because I don't have space. So,
oh no, I'll be your charity case.
But yeah, this is not exactly charity. This is a Four Roses. It's a single barrel, meaning that there's one barrel. There's about 120 bottles that came out of that barrel. At that proof, it's about 61% alcohol.
Yes, and it's barrel warehouse JE barrel number 31-4J.
Okay, that's kind of useless info, but the important part is the 61% alcohol. But the really important part is this is an Astor pick. So there's a liquor store in Manhattan, kind of East Village-y, called Astor Wines and Spirits.
Yeah.
And their barrel picker is a very legendary guy. It's either the best or top 3 best bottles of booze I've ever had.
This is?
No.
Oh, he picked one of the best bottles.
Willet. It was barrel number...
I'm just going for this.
C14A. Yeah, open up and cheers.
Barrel number C14A.
Does he go, taste different barrels from the same place and then picks?
Yeah, in fact, I just did that about 3 weeks ago. Buddy of mine, I'll give him a plug, Mike Cimarusti. He owns Providence, restaurant here in LA. He also owns Connie and Ted's, Italy. Yeah.
All the Italies?
No, he has a restaurant in Italy. I forgot what it's called.
Okay. Yeah.
But Providence is the best restaurant in Los Angeles. Jonathan Gold has said it was the best restaurant in LA for like 4 years in a row, and this year it dropped down to number 2.
Shit.
Yeah.
This smells nice.
It's good. Oh, it's good. Anyway, so
is it a crime to put it in this?
No,
okay,
not at all. As long as no one can see it. Oh, we're live. No, just kidding. It's fine. Anyways, so we went to Buffalo Trace in Frankfort, Kentucky.
We've been there.
And it was Michael and his wife, and me and my wife, and my best friend Eric, and the 5 of us sat down and picked a barrel. And now it's an Old Weller Antique 107, and in about 4 weeks it'll be at Providence, and you can go get a shot.
That is awesome.
It was the most fun you can actually have. I mean,
we went to Buffalo Trace.
Yeah.
And it was one of my favorite places I've ever been.
There's nowhere more gorgeous.
The smell.
Yeah. Oh, the smell's insane. It's insane. Yeah. So we got to sit down.
Did you get to taste different barrels like back to back to back?
Yeah.
And is there a noticeable difference?
Oh, yeah.
It's from the same place?
Oh, yeah.
Cheers.
The barrels like live next to each other in the warehouse.
Thank you.
Too. Yeah.
Cheers. Thank you.
Enjoy this stuff. This stuff's really good.
It smells really good.
It does smell really good. I'm going to put Diet Coke in it real quick.
Holy shit, dude.
I have friends that do stuff like that. Yeah.
This
is a real deal.
Fucking bomb.
Oh, it's a real deal.
Wow.
Yeah. No, it's delicious.
That's spectacular. Delicious. Thank you, man.
Yeah.
There's like a thickness to it.
Drink it well.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
It's like it's a little syrupy almost. It's dense.
It's
Is that because they normally water it down to 40% to make it?
Yeah. So I mean, Four Roses how do I put this? This shaped bottle. So all you people watching at home, if you just walk into a store and buy this, and it's not a store pick, and it's not it'll be called like Select Barrel or something. It's 50%. So they take this stuff, they water it down to 50%. It's nice because you can just dump 20 barrels together and it doesn't matter. The single barrel stuff, the idea is you just leave it the way it comes out of the barrel, and this I doubt they even filter it. Most stuff they do like it's like a pasteurized filter. I forget the name of it, but they heat it up and blah blah, and they pull out this thick protein. So this might be a little hazier than like.
It's dark. It is a dark color. God damn, is that fucking good?
Very good.
But this is the stuff.
Your taste, I mean,
this is the stuff. So
you're a snob, but your taste is impeccable.
Thank you. But so Aster. I'm a super.
Well,
snob.
one begets the other, right?
Yeah, but Aster, these I shouldn't even mention this, but anyways, they send out these emails. So there's a woman named Sarah Sparks, and she's their whiskey person or booze person, and she sends me an email, and it's always like, "Hey, we got new picks in barrel picks, like, do you want any?" And I'm such a sucker, I'm like, I'll take 2 of each. And,
oh my god!
But I didn't read the thing, so there was like they had four roses picks. So I got like a box at home of like 8.
Oh my god!
My wife's just like, really, like you actually need 8 new bottles and like, anyways, so. I opened the 4.
The difference is unlike cars, you can drink 4 different ones at once if you want to.
Yeah, and one of the questions when I let my followers down.
4 press cars right now, by the way.
When I disappointed my followers, one guy asked, "Why do I drive a Fiesta ST?" It's like because I spent my Porsche money on booze.
True.
It's sadly true.
Totally true.
Well, actually, daycare, but booze and daycare.
Yeah, I spent my Porsche money on watches. It happens.
I know. I that's why I just keep the G-Shock, because if I start getting into watches, I'm doomed. Like the watch,
if you could get a 911 design buck and like cut it in half and then make that your liquor cabinet and fill it and be like, that's Porsche money in booze.
I mean, that
would be funny. You know those like visual representations where they show the Nürburgring and then all the tracks that fit in it? They should show like an outline of a Targa 4S just with bottles of Pappy.
Yeah, except mine would be like a Phantom Coupe or something.
Yeah.
Really, really sad. I don't want to think about it.
Oh no, I completely understand though. I know.
It's just a hobby. When you get into a hobby, you got to go all the way.
A friend of mine is on a similar kick. He's in the movie industry, and so he has a lot of gnarly time and then a lot of free time.
Right,
I mean, like it alternates.
Right,
and he joined, the Facebook groups and the lotteries, the raffles and the trades and all that shit.
I bet I know him, but go ahead.
And this motherfucker has ended up with a cabinet that probably looks like yours, where it's every type of Pappy and every type of everything, and it's all the rare shit, and he can't help himself but open them and taste them.
Yeah,
and so the value's gone, and now he's got to finish it.
Well, that's okay. So
when they did the making fake Pappy using the other Eagle Rares, or the
other Buffalo Trace stuff.
I tasted it. It tasted pretty much just like
Pappy's just like Mark. I mean, look, it's good. It's not bad, but
it's good, but it's not worth the money.
This, which I don't know, let's say this was $100, something like that, is better than any Pappy I've ever had.
I can agree with you,
and you can get it.
I can agree with you. Yeah.
So Pappy's, but now there's a booze from Buffalo Trace called WLW, William LaRue Weller. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's bottled at 130 proof.
That's a little rocket fuel-y for my taste.
But Pappy's bottled at 90 proof, right? So in other words, they take this stuff, they water it down and sell it for 10 times as much.
Oh.
WLW is a wheated bourbon from Buffalo Trace, and so when they fill the barrels, they don't put Pappy on it. They just fill barrels, and then they taste it every couple years, and like, well, it's pretty good.
Well, that's what when we learned when we went there. It's like, 2 mashes and 3 time combinations and 2 barrel types. Like, here's your line of things.
Oh yeah,
sounds like Volkswagen.
Yeah, it is. That's a good analogy.
We have 2 engines on 2 platforms, and every car is on one combination or the other.
MQB, right? There's 60 cars on MQB. Heaven Hill.
Are there 60?
Yeah, 60 cars. MQB.
You always come in with these facts.
Sorry, I'm confusing cars and booze. Heaven Hill, who makes like Elijah Craig. 107.
Were you about to say the Volkswagen Heaven Hill platform?
No, but there's 107 different whiskeys that come out of Heaven Hill. One recipe.
Wow.
Yeah. And it's just aging, water.
Most of the taste of bourbon is wood. Yeah. And wood plus time.
Wood plus time.
Yeah. So 107 different labels. and one recipe.
Bourbon's the study of wood.
It's really good.
Time. It is. I don't do a good Morgan Freeman.
That was pretty good.
I don't know what that was, but I like it.
That was
great.
attempt at Morgan Freeman from Shawshank.
Whoever that is, that's who would explain whiskey in a documentary.
Geology is the study of pressure and time.
Right.
That's how Andy Dufresne chiseled. Okay.
No,
punching out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cadence
man.
is correct.
It was as
Cadence
close
is
as a
correct.
white man's going to get to Morgan Freeman.
Way closer than I'll ever get.
If I'm honest. Cars?
Should we do cars? Or we can keep it booze.
I am really happy with the booze knowledge that I have acquired today about Four Roses single barrel.
Four Roses is great. It's okay.
Delicious.
Last Four Roses anecdote was, bourbon went tits up in the 80s. Like no one was drinking it. It was all about clear liquor. Tom Cruise cocktail.
Goes better with blow.
Yeah. Well,
How many
but
hangovers
yeah.
do you want in the morning? One or
Right.
two?
So, Four Roses got bought by a Japanese company, and basically all the good stuff they brought to Japan, where people still liked bourbon, and it was a joke. I mean, it was like the worst bourbon you could get at a bar was Four Roses. And then they got a new master distiller, and slowly, not even that slowly, but he's been bringing them back. So people that were into bourbon in the 80s laugh when you say Four Roses. It's kind of like saying, no, Corvettes are really good after somebody who had an 84 Corvette.
Yeah.
You're like, no, they're actually really good now. They're like, yeah.
They're like, no. Listen, I had tuned port injection. That shit was bullshit.
I had ceasefire.
Yeah. Did you drive ZR1, speaking of Corvettes?
I haven't driven it yet.
Bro, you're going to love it.
I got to ride in it. It's good?
It's nasty.
Okay.
You got to ride it with Randy?
Not yet.
Who did you go out with? Somebody very
Alex
fast?
He's the engineer. I think his name's Alex. Yeah, tall guy.
Yeah, with
big shoulders.
long hair?
Yes.
Yeah. I hate to say it, braces.
I think so.
He does have braces.
Yeah, I think he does. Yeah.
But he can. I know that guy can drive. Yeah. The car is crazy.
Okay,
It's
explain.
It's exactly what you think it is.
Right. It's a Z06 with another 100
Yeah,
horsepower.
there's no surprises.
Yeah.
There are no surprises.
Right.
It's exactly what you think it is.
It's like when someone says Calc 3 is hard and you walk and look at the board and you're like, those numbers add up to difficult. It's wing, power, weight.
Everything you like about the Corvette.
Yeah.
Zero compromise from a regular Corvette to this. None. Except the wing kind of being in the way of the hatch, but none. Fundamentally none.
Right.
Same interior. It's not fucking horse shit harnesses or anything.
Good.
And
I hate harnesses.
easy to drive.
Yeah.
But so fast that, I mentally had kind of a tough time keeping up.
Yeah. Oh, cars
Which
are
is
getting
what
that
people
way.
say about the 720S that I have not had a go in
You
yet.
still haven't?
No, I didn't get a hold of your friend yet. I'm
Laura,
still working on it.
She just sent me an email.
Laura, if you're listening, I'd really like to try a 720.
So
Please.
So Randy Popes did drive the ZR1.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if this is public or not.
This,
I think it's
we're live.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm not sure if it is.
I know
but
he ran a time at Road
he
Atlanta.
went real quick at Road Atlanta.
He they told me what it was.
Okay, well,
I don't know if it's public.
Yeah, we'll get to it. It's fast.
It's extraordinary.
fast. But I was like, how is it? He's like, it's just like a Z06 with more power.
That's yeah.
it's like the rear end won't stay down. It's
Yeah,
like,
I managed to write 3,016 words about a car for which there were almost no surprises. It was
really.
Yeah,
Wow.
I wrote for Road and Track. I wrote a 3,000 word review.
Wow.
Travis doesn't edit me so much.
Okay.
He doesn't. It's web and
sure.
and the numbers are good and no one really complains that I go long. I go fucking long.
Okay.
But it's not like the space matters.
Right.
So he lets me go long.
I will say I did not read your story because I just don't even have time to stand up anymore. But
if you happen to, I'd love to get your notes
would
as a
love to.
professional, but I don't expect you
I
to.
also, and you'll understand this, I don't want to, Randy talked to me, I don't want to read too many people's thoughts on it
Totally
before I
get it.
have to drive it.
Totally
and then-
get it.
Yeah.
You don't want my thoughts to creep into your shit.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Maybe I'm just lazy.
No, dude, that happens. I understand. Fucking other people have driven cars that I know I'm gonna drive, and even if I like them and I like their writing, I won't read it.
Well, I think I mentioned this maybe.
So good.
Another
good.
time ago, but like,
Did Randy happen to do a 126.44?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah, he did. It's
did he
public.
post about it? Okay, so he
when
beat.
did that go up?
It's on Corvette Blogger anyway.
Okay, well,
Fine.
it's on
There it
Corvette
is.
Blogger. Yeah, so
Fine.
he beat the Viper ACR.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
With a cooled seat on.
Yeah.
Whoa.
It's got cooled seats,
Bananas.
motherfucker. That's
Bananas.
the big fuck you to the Viper ACR is not the
speed.
faster lap time.
Yeah,
it's
it's-
cooled seats,
Yeah.
big trunk,
Yeah.
normal seat
That's
belts.
the one I would say because I think cooled
yeah.
seats they've just gotten more common, right? Since the ACR was done, so they probably would have put it in that car.
The ACR is a torture chamber. I mean, the
Yeah,
ACR,
the ACR is not good.
There's a 50-degree differential between your feet and your head. It's the most
True.
ridiculous.
It's not-
I mean,
it's not
they're
good.
wonderful, right? They are wonderful, but they're really
It's one of the more difficult cars for me to get in, and it's like you and
Yeah.
Thaddeus. The seats move
not-
back; it's easy,
yeah, it's
but I have
tough
to
to
get
get
my
in.
leg like around that shelf. Like the whatever the front quarter panel. It's very weird.
Look, it's not a good car in the traditional sense of the word good, but
It's a race car.
It's a fast, fast car,
Right, but I think the ZR1 does the things that car does,
Right.
and with a side of incredible civility.
Right.
So
I will say that, and I've said this in the show before. They're probably fucking sick of me saying it, but you're a professional, and I haven't talked to a professional in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
For me, on the street, the manual was great. On the track, it was actually a little too fast, and I felt uncomfortable in certain parts of Road Atlanta taking my hands off the wheel to shift.
Sure.
Yeah. And yet the automatic kind of sucks. It's not the 10-speed, it's the 8-speed.
Right.
For those out there, the 10-speed doesn't fit. The biggest comment on my video was, why don't they put the 10-speed? It doesn't fit. That's it.
Well, if you think about it, there's already what's wrong with the C7 and what hopefully is going to be so awesome about the mid-engine is the transmission is
Right.
between you and your friend sitting next to you, and it's already so big that the seats suck. Everything sucks in a Corvette because of where the transmission is.
No, the transmission of the Corvette is behind you.
Yeah, it's a transaxle. Right, whatever. That
the
tunnel's
torque
already
tube.
big enough. So
Yeah.
if they had made anything bigger, it would just
Yeah, the
creep into
torque tube
cabin.
runs through there.
What
But
about
also the
what about-
cooling and the shielding and the
What about driving the car is too fast for you to think of? Is it the way it accelerates? You're like, oh fuck, I have to brake soon,
Yeah,
but
no,
not too
I mean,
soon, or like
at a certain
which,
point, like certain sections of track, if I really go flat, like kind of disappear, like almost faster than my brain can manage the track. Like the S's at Road Atlanta, you get a half a second of full throttle followed by 2 seconds of full brake. You know, it's
I mean,
just,
wow.
The 720S is like that. The GT2 RS is actually.
have you had a go in that?
Yeah.
Is it as crazy?
It's again, and it might just be a thing where we have to all take a year and get used to cars like this. But do you remember when the Nissan GTR first came out?
Oh, it's like that.
And you really beat up a road, and you were
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I remember I had this one drive, and I just went nuts for like 2 minutes. And I remember I pulled over and was like mentally exhausted because I just never had to have my hands and brain work that fast. So the driving I did with the GT2 was I've just never had corners come up that quick.
even compared to like a 720 or something. Or?
Similar. I think, how do I put this? The 720, if you had a big, long, straight, it just is like nothing. I mean, almost like nothing else. It's just a hypercar.
Yeah, yeah.
The GT2 maybe isn't quite there, but like it gets through the twisties. Like so we do our figure eight thingy, you know. And so Walton, our head test guy, he's like, "Oh man, it's amazing! Like when you get to the last two cones, be wide open." And I'm like, "No way," because I have years and years of if you're wide open right there with everything turned off, you spin a car, especially a 700 horsepower car that weighs nothing.
Rear drive.
Rear drive only.
Yeah.
You even all wheel drive, if wide open, you will spin a car at that point.
And what traction setting would you be on there?
Everything off.
Full off.
Off.
Okay.
Off. So
all right.
So Walton's like, no. He's like, I don't think all off is all off. And I'm like, oh, okay, well. And I said, all right, I'm just gonna do it. You know, I got my balls up and I did it. And I swear to God, it felt like all off was not all off. It felt like something like pointed me straight. So, anyways, Randy drove it, which I cannot talk about, but Randy drove it, Big Willow, and we asked him, we're like, is all off? He goes, yeah. He goes, you're feeling the torque vectoring. That's just the rear axle. That's like,
Wow.
That's sending, all that torque to one wheel
Yeah.
on 325s.
Yeah.
That it's just the torque vectoring actually does work and straightens you out. It's off. Wow. And it was a crazy feeling. It's just but unlike other the last GT2 actually was pretty neutral. I would say it wasn't like the Widowmaker.
I never drove an old GT2 I never had the privilege. I did the Sharkworks one. It was like 700 horsepower. And it was fucking nuts.
Sharkworks.
Well, you drove it on the highway, and then you drove it to a fairly tight canyon. So it was like
it was nuts. But I remember it being
Sharkworks
like
is just nuts.
there was a couple of
So the 99, I guess it was a 997. Yeah, 997 was neutral, but like the 996, and I got a ride. I never drove the 993, but the 996 was like pretty diabolical.
I heard that was a gnarly one.
It's pretty gnarly. Yeah. This is so opposite. Yeah,
easy.
It's easy, but it's not terrifying. Even though it's as quick as the 720, it's just so sorted out. Like.
They do that, don't they?
They just get it right,
they
and it's not
figure it out.
It's not like the Turbo where like even the Turbo S is like a little dull somehow, even though it's like
I know what you mean.
It's like weaponized
it's
speed.
Not, but like it is.
Yeah,
but it's not.
This still has an edge.
Like it's crazy, but it's not the one you want to buy.
It's not. Yeah. It's not. This might be the one you want to buy.
How much is it?
Oh, the one we
300.
Oh yeah, way over that. So this is a Wysock.
Way over that.
This is a Wysock.
What do you get for Wysock on this thing?
Okay, you get a carbon fiber roof instead of a magnesium roof. You get magnesium wheels. And that's
they've gone back to magnesium.
Well, yeah, and they weigh nothing. I mean,
is it less than carbon fiber?
I don't think it is less than carbon fiber, but it can't be much more than carbon fiber.
Right.
Plus, they look cool, unlike carbon fiber wheels.
I wonder if it's
carbon
cheaper
fiber
to
wheels
produce.
Look cool.
I don't think
they don't look cool. I think they look cool. I like them on the Ford
Magnesium's
GT.
cool. No, dude, no. So like, I guess I can say this. So the wheels have to go to 3 countries to get made. That's why they're $13,000 for the 4 wheels. They split
for
up
carbon
the
or for magnesium?
For the magnesium. They split up the Wysock package. So it's 13. It used to be you had to get the Wysock, and the take rate was like 80%, and everyone just really wanted the wheels. Who cares? Because it's a magnesium roof. Also, real quick, I learned that everything magnesium on a car is 7% copper, so that's why it doesn't burn.
Oh,
because I was like,
I was gonna say, if you rolled it and slid, would that be like lighting a match?
It would, but the copper would make sure it stays out. So
really?
Anyway, so
the police will find you.
So 3 different three different countries, and check this out. Porsche's very cool to us. They specially flew the car out to us or shipped the car to us, but they flew the tires in special tire heated baggies.
So they didn't get cold
so
on the
they didn't get
flight.
cold in the belly. So it was like $3,000 a tire to fly the freaking thing.
Were they in like Domino's pizza bags?
Yeah, the equivalent of that. Yeah. Anyway, so the wheels.
Dude, and they say Porsche doesn't do
expensive.
the shit that Ferrari does. They do sometimes.
They showed up with tire heaters. They had tire warmers at the track.
Yeah.
It was pretty nuts.
There was a time that Porsche would just hand you that car and say, "We'll see you in a week." This is a little different.
They
than that.
still do that with. I've been on a project I think last year where the PR person just like sent the car.
They do it with most cars.
Yeah,
they do it with
but
most cars.
I think with this, it's
tire blankets.
No, I agree. And the GT2RS, they're like, it seems like things are getting more competitive, or maybe people are just paying more attention.
I think I'm going to take credit for causing it, but there's an arms race between the OEMs with the engineers they send out. Like Porsche has started bringing, you probably know him, ACP. Does zip tires, so they've started bringing him out to every time they show up at a track event with us. So,
he does zip tires.
Yeah, and then so Karl Heinz from AMG, he got ACP's card. He's like, okay, I'm always using you from now on. Like,
good for ACP.
And like,
I like my friends having good jobs.
Yeah, and so like Porsche showed up with like, AMG showed up with their little AMG van, which has like a slide out espresso maker among tools and other things you might need.
Alpha's van would only have the espresso maker.
Right. It'd be the best espresso ever.
Be a room in the
car
back.
would be on fire.
In the back, the seats lay flat in case, you know.
Right. So now Porsche's building like a Sprinter van that's going to have like even more crap. And
I like remember in the 80s when all the teams had those sweet support vans? Yeah. I think they all should have sweet. All right, so.
Anyway, so GT2 is.
So it's mental.
It's not mental like the 720. I keep telling everyone the 720 is alien technology in street form.
It's the Starship Enterprise metaphor as closely as it gets.
Just how does it compare to like the 675 LT?
It destroys it because two things.
I mean, I know it's faster, but like
it's
feeling wise, speed wise, like what is it that they've done that just distills everything to just nuclear explosion behind the tires?
They figured out how to put the power down. So with the 675, which makes a lot of power, if you turn everything off, you'll just spin the car. It's a spinner. It's totally impossible to control.
570s are tough to drive with the traction off as well.
Yeah. Although those have better mechanical grip than the 675. The 675 leans on its electronics, and the guys in McLaren I remember they were telling, because Randy was bitching, he's like, more mechanical grip, less electronic grip, and they're like, no, it's faster with. So anyways, whatever they did with the 720, it has mechanical grip at the rear, so it can actually put all the power down. And when it does, it's terrifying. It's when you hit like 6,000 to 7,000, the acceleration is just bonkers. And then when you're not, unlike the 675, it's this super cool, comfortable luxury car. Because you know how McLaren always
675 because of you fucks and your fucking scales came without air conditioning. The no air conditioning cost delete for the LA car because you assholes weigh them.
Which one? The red one or the green
nuclear
one?
waste green one.
Yeah, well,
they
they
had no
had-
air conditioning.
So I drove around in the red marketing car because of that.
I got this car in July and I was like, you're telling me this car is 400 grand and doesn't have air conditioning?
So I have not driven, the newest Ferrari I've driven was the new California T. So I haven't experienced like the 488, but the McLaren has always impressed me with ride quality in normal driving.
Yeah.
It's just been like,
This is better.
it's
what
amazing.
the fuck is that?
That's 720
In
the
Russia,
forest. Yeah.
in Russia, we don't fucking need roads, bitch. We drive on fucking. This is just my driveway.
Wow.
This is how I get to the cocaine
It's
lab.
just so much better. They just made a better car. I mean, it's just the 675 was the 12C run out to the most you could do with it, and then the 720 is just the next level.
the next
up.
one?
And I just did a crazy thing. We drove a bunch of McLarens. Turned out me and Mike Harley did 8 different countries for no reason whatsoever. It was great.
No, is this Geneva Auto Show related?
Yeah, it was the best.
I love the completely useless drive from 1,000 miles away to the Geneva Auto Show.
great. Well, why
as if
not?
no one can get a flight to Geneva.
Well, the better part was, hang on. To everyone else, so they had like 7 McLarens on this trip.
Yeah.
And they went to 5 countries was the plan. And then, so what I was realizing was every morning we're just wasting our lives with like a photographer who's like, okay, let's get all 7 cars and like stand around till like 11:30. So I was like, hey, if they have 6 McLarens in the photo, it'll be just as good as 7. And I'm like, Mike, let's just leave before everybody. And like, we're like, sorry, Laura, bye.
Ask forgiveness.
Yeah. And then we're like, let's go to more countries. So I was like, we're driving. I'm like, hey, dude, you ever been to Liechtenstein? He's like, what's Liechtenstein? I'm like, all right, put in the nav.
The country that no
That's
one's ever
awesome.
heard of.
Good for you.
It was, and as I told somebody, maybe my wife, who said, why are you going on a week-long trip? I'm like, this is why I actually got into this, was to do pointless supercar journeys across Europe.
Totally accurate. I like this.
Remember
What
growing up?
passes did you drive? All of them?
I mean, a lot. I don't know.
A lot of vowels.
I mean, we drove from... that morning was from somewhere in France to Liechtenstein. It was all the way across Switzerland. And then back.
What do you have like top 3 countries to drive in?
Well, Germany, and then all the
Germany,
rest
of course,
suck.
Autobahn.
Yeah, no, they all suck. But I will say, the 720, we drove it on the Autobahn in snow. And I got it up to like 145. It was
In snow?
in snow, and it was
Like snow on the side of the road, and you're
no,
just like,
it was
forget
on
it.
snow. We were on winter tires. It was fine. It was like
That's.
no, it was.
I've
perfect.
gone 120 on snow with snow tires, my STI, and I was like, this is not safe.
The 720 is magical. It's so fast. I can't even tell you.
Brave man.
So
All right.
we were, like you've been on these.
Was that you?
Yes.
Was it?
I think that's us in the white car, actually. Yeah.
Wow. Was there snow on the ground in places?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
it's,
I
it's
got
not
a
like it's
picture.
scary.
If that's
If
you,
you-
I count that as snow.
I
That's
do too.
actual
Not
snow.
discounting.
If you look
This
at
is
my
nuts.
Yeah.
if you look at my Instagram feed, I have a picture at the Nürburgring of
I
the
saw that
720 as parked
picture.
in snow.
I saw that picture. It was
awesome.
fucking boss. It was extremely
It was
boss.
really sucked to go to the Nürburgring and not drive it, but the Nürburgring was just snowed. There was guys sledding.
Yeah, I
One of
understand.
our camera guys, like 6 years ago, one of his first jobs at the Nürburgring, they let them drive in the snow. I think on the Grand Prix circuit.
Oh, yeah.
And he had barely driven a car, and he did fine. But I was just like, it's one of the things I'm most jealous of. And you driving at Monticello on the snow
I
days.
drove in Monticello the
wow.
first time they ever did a snow track day, and it was absolutely incredible.
How many cars were off the track?
Only one.
Oh,
one.
ah.
It ended it at the end that one guy hit the rail, but overall it was very cool, and it was a lot of snow. I mean, it was really a bunch, and they had these tall orange cones.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of
Yeah.
lining pretty much the whole track. And after a few runs, it did make a proper groove. And I even at one point kind of they made like some sort of berms. I kind of like bounced off a berm a little bit, and I did go off once into some powder, but There was dudes in Carreras and shit on snow tires just mobbing.
Carreras are
mobbing.
that's the best snow car there is because all the weight's in the rear.
Loose surface
Perfect.
911 is why I'm the safari car that I'm doing after experiencing it. It's not just like, oh, that's trendy, but like after actually spending a day going, that I was like, I must have this.
I'll get back to the Nürburgring in a second, but I'll never forget doing something in Quebec with Porsche, and they had all-wheel drive 911s and rear drive in the snow. Rear drive all day, all night.
With snow tires all day.
All day.
Yeah.
They don't understand all-wheel drive. Yeah.
Just brake and turn and then...
That's awesome. But anyway, so you've been on those big goat rodeos where you drive across a bunch of countries for no reason, right? So even though no one says it, it's still a race. You want to arrive first, you know? So Harley and I set off in the 720. And of course... the 720 had a different nav system than all the other cars because all the other cars were 570s. So we wound up taking the wrong turn, and I'm like, screw these guys. We're still getting to the Nürburgring first. And like, just, it's such a fast car. It's ridiculous.
Well, even
and
there,
comfortable.
And this is far below your pay grade in professionalism. Like I drove the 570 from Iceland to Germany to return it, which is great. Yeah, and by the way, everyone in Denmark acts like the Autobahn has already arrived. Yeah, so they just drive the same way. But that car accelerates like something far above its pay grade.
Yeah,
you know, everything they make is just like so far above what they advertise. It's amazing.
That's the new hotness. That was probably the coolest car that we drove was 570 GT with S suspension. Oh, because the 570 GT. First of all, it's useless in California because it's a glass roof with no shade. So
I drove it across Iceland and it was spectacular.
Okay, it's probably good for Iceland.
It was the best.
But we were driving it after driving the 570 on the same roads, and it was pretty soft. And I remember like really accelerating and hitting bumps, and it was so softly sprung that you'd like be in the wrong lane all of a sudden.
It did move a little bit, and on uneven tarmac it moved a bit.
They just put the S suspension on it. 100% solved. It's now the perfect car because you can get a briefcase. They call it the 570 GT with S suspension.
They don't call it GTS. That would make so much sense.
No, because it probably
because Porsche
has
trademarked.
Yeah, you got to pay. Well, you pay them enough. You can use Toyota uses GTS for the Corolla.
That's a good point.
How does the Ferrari like the 48 compare on the road to the McLaren 720 as far as ride quality?
Hard
goes?
to say because I'm still not 100% convinced I've actually ever driven a real 488. I'm
a fan of the 488.
Yeah,
and
it's really good.
I sympathize with your plight in that as well. I'm a fan, but as a large gentleman, I find the ingress and egress of a Ferrari is very normal. I like they're easy to get in and out of, and it makes them really easy to use every day.
That's a weird thing you said because I remember my biggest takeaway from the 458, which is probably the best handling car I've ever driven, which actually was probably had challenged suspension on it, and a buddy of mine, I'll leave his name out of it, but he's like, oh yeah, that yellow one, I built that car. He's like, dude, that thing was sweet. Anyways, it's okay, we're all friends. But my biggest memory of that car is how much legroom there was.
So much.
Like, there's nothing between you and the guy next to you. And you get into, like, Corvette like we're talking about, and you're, like, bunkered in.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The
720s like that.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I really like how roomy the Ferraris are. They're especially compared to the Lamborghinis, which are very cramped.
Very cramped.
But
the 488, look, I mean, the one we had at Best Driver's Car was insane. The speed it generated was just...
The air it caught was fucking miraculous.
Yes, yeah, that was a really good car. They're wonderful. And then Ferrari, what do they call it? Slip slide control or whatever.
Yeah.
Like Jethro always brings this up where you go to a Lamborghini launch and they'll talk about how planted the car is. Nowadays, Lamborghini's into setting lap times all of a sudden, and they'll talk about how planted the car is and the downforce. And Ferrari's just like, oh yeah, it just drifts no matter what you do in any mode, you can drift it.
The 488 that I got to drive at the Detroit City Airport, whatever they call that. What do they call that place?
No
it was
idea.
like Larry Webster's.
The Detroit Mile.
The Detroit Mile. We had it for a shoot, and it's a fucking old shitty airport. So you're just sideways all the time. That's what you do with old shitty airports.
Right.
And so I had some time sliding that thing safely, and it was lovely.
Yeah. I bet you it was the same car. Was it red?
Yes.
Yeah, I bet you
It
was
was at the time the Village Bicycle 488.
I bet you it's the same car.
It was the early one because I was doing a television show.
So ours was funny because we did it in 2017. Ours was built in 2015. So I think ours. I think it might have had like kilometers or something. Like it was. I bet you it's the same.
Whatever
car.
it was fast.
Yeah. I think it was a prototype for the Pista. if you want to be honest, great cars.
Just a regular 488.
Go Ferrari.
Have you explored the 720s like with the drift setting it has, the traction?
No, I didn't bother. I just turned everything off and did some laps of Big Willow, and it was insanely great. Yeah. And then which I want to bring up, but then it was just on the road. It was awesome. Although there is that moment where it's too fast. It's just like whoa.
Yeah. ZR1, that happened as well. You get where you go, all right, that's Jesus Christ. And then you go, all it takes is money. That's it. They just money and people can have this. And fuck, it's not even that much money.
It's not that much money. You can get like Mercedes station wagons for the same price.
Oh, I had the E63 S wagon.
So
it was
good.
the fucking tits.
Isn't it good?
So great.
It's so much better than the sedan. It's crazy.
Was great.
It's quicker. We tested it. It's
was
quicker.
Faster?
Yeah, in a straight line, it's quicker.
How about that?
We got 0 to 60 3.2, quarter mile. 11.2.
Oh, it was almost 10.
Yeah, if we had 93 octane.
It's fucking great. That was the spec of mine. It was fantastic.
We had gray, same spec.
Shout out to Autobahn Motors. I got a press car from a dealer for a week.
Wow.
Autobahn Motors in Palo Alto, California hooked it up, and shout out to them.
So what we got to talk about, because you drove the same car, and it's one of the best experiences I've had.
Last thing, I want to talk about the ZR1 for as fucking crazy fast and scary as you well know, GM's PTM thing, the traction management, if you put it in 2, the car is a pussycat. It's crazy fast, but you can go flat and it won't oversteer. Like it just won't do it. It'll go
amazing.
It makes that noise where it
like F1 cars
kills itself and goes, but it doesn't die. It just doesn't drift. It's fantastic.
Do you remember Jack's article on when the traction light kicks on in the canyons, it's basically telling you you're driving like incorrectly? Yeah. That's like the sound where it's basically saying you'd be dead right now if it weren't for PTM2. Well, that's what I said
in the video. It's actually a very good auditory signal of being smoother and better. Yeah. So
I was gonna say real quick. We had the ZL1 1LE last year at Best Driver's Car, and Scott Evans put in like PTM 2 or 3, and just did not lift his right foot, was flat around Laguna Seca, and it just totally did it.
It's like one of those it's like the video game with like full idiot mode, Daytona USA.
That's it. I like mode 5 because you get a little bit of slip.
I like mode 5 too. But the ZR1, honestly, you can get there. Like, you're a good driver. Like, I'm an okay driver. Like, we're fine. We're not going to die in this car. But I'm just saying, like, compared to other cars, like a 911 Turbo S is almost as fast as ZR1.
Yeah, sure.
And
probably in certain situations quicker,
Right? But if the average person or the above average person or you or I, our first 25 laps are going to be a lot faster in that 911. And then eventually with like coaching and data and a tire pressure gauge,
Set the bar.
We'll get faster. But like it's a lot tougher unless you're an ace to get to that. Just because like...
Sure.
Bravery. It involves a lot of bravery, and that nobody does a planted car quite like Porsche.
It's insane. But someone who does do a planted car, and I want to talk about this, Ford GT.
Fuck me.
So
it's delightful, isn't it?
I love that car.
It's the best.
I drove one that was broken, and I drove it.
Broken?
Well, I drove it. I'm like, whatever. I'm like, rich guys are stupid. I can't believe they bought this without driving it for $500,000, And then Randy lapped it, and he's like, it's broken. And Ford, of course, the engineers are. He's like, no, it's fine. And Randy's like, no, I'm telling you, it's broken. And then they took it back and like, oh yeah, it's broken. So like one of the rear shocks was dead.
Oh, that could be a thing.
Yeah. So
it was the black and orange one, right?
No,
Same one
the one that died was a red one. So we got the black and orange one.
That's the one. It's great.
It's wow,
it's so good.
Wow.
I did like 300 miles in 7 hours.
I don't even think we can talk about what you told me you did, but like
no, I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
But like wow, and
it's It was extraordinary.
It's so good.
It's a race car.
Yeah.
And not in the way that Viper ACR is a race car.
It's not uncomfortable. It's cramped, but not
No,
not
it's a
horrible.
race car from the fucking beginning. It's this only exists because somebody wanted to win something.
Yeah.
You know, it's real crazy.
I'm so shocked by it. I thought it was just BS. From the moment I saw it, I was like,
And I think I guess the ZR1 went faster on VIR. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. No,
it's a completely different.
Yeah, because the ZR1's got an extra 100 horsepower, and you know,
and it's a Corvette. At the end of the day, it's an awesome Corvette, and
Yeah.
like the fact that it can go as fast as this thing can go, as the GT can go, like with a trunk and shit, like that's pretty cool.
It's good.
Like,
But this is one of the best looking things I think ever made. Like I think
that's very special.
I know
cool
it
looking.
looks just subjective, but I'm just saying, as you said, the Corvette is a Corvette, and I think the C7, like this, I think 10, 20, 30 years will still look awesome, the same way the last gen 4GT does.
The last gen is so cool.
is the best.
It's so cool.
Yeah, my money would buy a last gen car,
But-
as a road car.
But I can't believe how fun and wonderful that thing is. Delightful is the right word. It's so good to drive fast.
Crazy to drive
It
fast.
loves it.
It's easy.
And
it has a very easy learning curve. You can spend 5 minutes in it and be going fucking bonsai.
And-
Upper
and-
Big T. I scared myself.
Oh yeah, I'm
a
sure.
little bit.
But what I don't get, you know, it's. I guess it's the
That
problem.
was a great color. I wish they made that color. That was the prototype color.
I guess it's it's that problem of look, we're really lucky and we actually get to drive the things, but everyone's like, oh, V6, and I kind of I felt I got a little guilty of that.
Yeah.
Engine's great.
The engine, it's very fast.
And it sounds good in there.
It makes that noise that only Daytona prototype engines make.
Right. And
it's a special
All
noise.
the turbo, fuel,
it's a
air.
special
It's just,
bang. It's not like an F-type bang. It's not like the Focus RS bang or the 911 one.
It's not just launching fuel into the hot mufflers.
A very special sound that is only made by Daytona prototype race cars.
Wastegate, maybe?
No.
It's just a fucking bang. It's a great bang.
Everything about that car, I was so impressed. And again, like I said, I was like, all right, I'm going to drive it. I drove it. I'm like, oh, it's, like this car sucks. And then Randy's saying it's broken. The Ford guy's saying it's not broken.
Yeah.
So I'm like, they just built a terrible car. And so for like a month, I'm like, And then I drove a proper one.
Yeah. Oh, having 4 working shocks.
It helps. Huge. Yeah.
And you know what's really, I think it is the most noticeable air braking system I have personally.
Okay.
I haven't driven like LaFerrari
or like Veyrons.
I drove a Veyron once, but I didn't really get into it like that. It was like in Greenwich. It wasn't like a real drive.
Yeah.
I'd love to try a Chiron one day. If someone's got one, let me have a go.
We're working hard on getting one.
But as far as what I've driven, it was the most effective air brake I've used. It was fucking cool.
I don't.
Car was hot.
I was just on the track, so I wasn't even like looking for the air brake. But I'd say out of what I've driven, 720 air brake's pretty good. Everything's
that's
pretty
probably
good.
pretty good.
Car's
too,
just super balanced.
Yeah.
But that said, like the 720 versus the 4, we tested them, and the 720 is quicker.
The Ford GT just feels more race car-y.
But yeah, it was more.
I haven't driven 720. Why am I making a judgment?
What am I trying to say? It's more. I don't know. It just feels more at home on the track. The 720 is faster. You got to get through that terror level, and and when everything is off, you still are fighting the rear. You don't fight the Ford at all. It's just a sweetheart.
It had a lot of, because the Ford doesn't really have any special electronics. I mean, it's got a pretty good traction control system, but it's not like some crazy advanced like the NSX is. Like it just feels like it's got like a ton of mechanical grip.
It does.
A ton of aero grip.
And when I was on the track, I had everything turned off, so there's no electronics doing anything, and it was just at home. It's just so at home.
So much stick. Yeah, like a lot of fucking stick.
I mean, it's an open wheel car with a couple of buttresses. I mean, you look at it like it's serious. It's rad.
I'm just shocked. Like, good for them.
I might canyon pace. I might have been able to go a little same pace in the NSX possibly in canyons.
I still got to drive a proper NSX because in my mind,
did you only drive an early one?
I just drove that early one.
Yeah, we need to. You're a man of your access.
Yeah,
we need to try
I could do
again.
it. I just I'm busy.
The NSX was so fucking quick.
I got to drive a better one because the one we drove was just whatever. No, it was slower than a Nismo GTR. It was just like
they're good.
Yeah.
Was it an approachability thing? That's why you think you could drive the NSX faster? Is it smaller? Feel smaller? Like,
well, the NSX, that magical front end. The
electric motors
is completely The NSX does all the fucking crazy magic shit that the GTR does, but it does it so slickly that it makes you think you're doing it. Like,
yeah, we were talking about this.
Makes you feel like a rock star.
I think with Lee Keen, but like the motors in the front are basically doing the job of what a lot of braking systems do for torque vector.
It does real-time torque vector.
Yeah, it's amazing.
You can actually spin the wheel backward, and in theory, spin it backwards.
Yeah.
It'll apply negative rotation.
But
to
you
it.
can also shut it off.
Oh yeah,
slide the car, which we did, and it works very
cool.
well.
Mm-hmm.
I was able to drift it repeatedly, and pretty consistently, and I am not anything special, so that's a good sign.
I was just again, I got to drive that a modern NSX, but that Ford, wow, that's a special, worth $500,000. I don't know, but. That's a special car.
Doesn't matter.
Couldn't
afford it. Pretty fucking special.
It's real, and I hope people don't just mothball them and stick them in a barn to sell at Barrett Jackson. Drive that.
It would
be a shame.
I know, but drive that thing. It really loves. That's what it is too. It loved to be driven. It was so happy and so at home on the racetrack.
I didn't treat that car particularly kindly.
No,
I drove it really, really, really.
Yeah, I heard.
I heard
what you did. Yeah.
Pretty hard, yeah. No, not in just terms of speed. There was some gravel on the road and shit.
Oh yeah, I remember when you were driving. We were up there 2 days before, and it had snowed, so they had dumped gravel
the road.
everywhere.
I hate it. The first day I got my Fox body back when it was quote finished, and I was doing shakedown. I went to Upper Big T with Thaddeus, and the entire top half of Upper Big T was graveled.
Yeah.
And I'm running 295s, no mud flaps, and my brand new paint got fucked on the first day. And I was like, well, Canyon car. And that was
there you go.
So
I stopped caring about it after
we were
that.
up there. So we were up there, and it was just a fluky thing. It was 37 degrees. We had all those custom Porsches, Shark Works and Gunther Works, and anyways, and a Workshop 5001 was $1 million car.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's $1 million and looks like nothing, right?
If you drove it, you'd be like, this should be worth $2 million. What a good bargain. Yeah, it's so good.
I drove the Gunther Works, and I thought that was very excellent.
Yeah, it is, but this just. I mean,
twice as good as that? Twice?
No, 4 times as good.
Four times as good?
Yeah. It is. You got to drive it.
I feel. Is this
what's that called? Workshop
5001. Because his address is 5001 Exposition Boulevard.
Here? They're here?
Yeah.
It's like a restaurant.
Shit.
So Marlon.
That's $2 million.
No, it's $1 million. It feels like $2 million. That
gray
one.
thing.
No, the blue thing.
Oh, the blue thing.
That thing right there. Yeah, the blue thing. Oh, the gray one too. So the gray one's car 1. That's car 2.
Well, I mean, it's a nice looking car.
Marlon Goldberg is the guy that builds them. He built the first 8 Singers, and then he had a falling out with Mr. Singer or whatever his name is.
Gotcha.
And it's just no expense spare. It's like the way Icon does stuff.
Yeah.
It's
like how Singer. I mean.
The way Singer is to making the interior leather, that's how they are to mechanical. It's it's just nuts.
Look, all right. I get that someone is doing it. I'm sure he's got a customer. I'd love to have
You
a go.
built it for a customer.
No, for sure.
Yeah.
No. I mean a customer. I'm
Yeah.
sure he's got more customers.
Oh,
there's
he's
people
got
who
8
want that.
cars lined up.
Yeah.
This is what I'd like to do. I'd like to do the
him.
Pepsi challenge with Zuckerman. With remember we were arguing if the 911R is different enough from the new GT3
Oh, so
with a
different.
manual.
I drove them back to back. So
Did you drive back to back?
Night and day.
Yeah.
Night
I
and
think
day.
he ordered both, right?
Yeah.
And he was
got
saying
both.
they're different.
It's night and friggin' day. It's so weird that they are able to differentiate a car.
So what was it? What was the set like? Was it steering feel separation? Because this is one of those things. All right, $1 million driving experience.
$2 million
Or is
driving
it?
experience. Yeah. So okay, the R.
It's hard to swallow,
Dude.
Really hard to
it's
swallow.
It's just so. The blue car, I don't know if you can see it, but he just seam welded a roll cage into the body. So it's a G.
Go to the interior.
It's a G.
Let's see. I mean, it's a very pretty car, but we need to go to the
It's a
interior.
G, but it's as stiff as a carbon fiber tub car because there's just a roll cage
it has a
seam welded
cage in it.
Yeah, which I don't like. The customer wanted.
My Safari car will be seam welded, by the way, by Lee.
You'd have to.
I need to see where this cage disappears. Who's got a good fucking interior?
Well, is it disappear or is
picture?
it just it's welded to the you see the cage?
You
but
can
it's
see the cage, but
connected,
it's just the
which
car
is cool because then it's perfectly formed to the interior of the body.
So that's the one. That one's not as extreme as number 2. I haven't driven number 1. I've driven car 2.
Yeah.
And it's just you got to see it. It's
Here's
just
the thing.
Oh, it's so cool,
Bro, a $2 million in driving experience to me includes a visual differentiation somehow.
The only thing I'd say is
99% of the world see that as
that's
a
fine.
911.
It's not for them. It's not for
Which
them.
is-
There's a butt for every
Yeah.
seat. And I would say this, like, what's better than the classic original 911 shape? And that's just
I
done
can get
perfectly.
95% of that for $100,000. You can. You can. You know you can.
You'd have
95%.
You'd have to drive it because it's so it's set up like a race car. I mean, there's
It's a
like
four- it's a
nothing.
four-liter,
in
It's
it.
like Joey
I
Seeley's
imagine.
car.
No. It's I forget. It's like 350 horse.
It's a fucking $1 million and you don't get 400 horsepower.
No, but it doesn't
fuck the fuck off.
Oh well, you should
Not
drive.
a
You should.
chance.
You should drive the car.
I'll drive it.
Yeah,
but I
you
ain't
should
buying
drive
it.
the car. You know, no, it's not. It's already sold. There's an owner. It's not
No,
for
I
you.
know, but I
figured
don't
it.
see the argument. I mean, for
You'd have
that
to
much
drive-
money,
it's the
I need
experience.
as much horsepower
No,
as
but-
an air-cooled
but you-
engine
no,
can make.
But no, you don't because you can. First of all, it makes less power than say the Gunther Works, right?
Yes.
And it's way quicker. It's
Isn't the Gunther
way
Works full
quicker.
carbon
Why is
fiber,
it?
though?
How is it way quicker? What can you do to make it way quicker?
It's just because it weighs 2,000 pounds.
Does it have the same amount of interior?
There's no interior. It has nothing in it. Like you
Oh.
can, it's exposed wiring, but it's like
I don't want
it's-
that for
no, but
$1
it's tied-
million.
No. If you,
Fuck you kidding me? No,
it's-
interior.
It's built as a race car.
but you can't race it. It's a street car.
It was built for like an autocross guy. You can kind of see the
Holy
interior.
shit.
It's so good, dude.
I mean, look, I know what
It's
look,
so
I've
good.
been to Detroit Speed, and I know what those guys have $1 million Camaro.
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand what goes into
Yeah.
it, and there's a customer for that, and it's probably like that. And they
Yeah.
go to some crazy autocross shit, but like
I don't even think the guy was a good autocrosser. He just had a lot of money.
he's probably like 300 pounds.
Yeah. I think it's more like 300 years old, but still. But
it's very pretty. I'd love to drive
you gotta,
it.
I can get you to
drives
drive
good.
it. No, it drives better.
I'd
than
like
good.
to meet the guy too. I'd like
Oh,
to get,
Marlon-
get him in this chair.
He would be the
Look at
best.
that pedal box. That's very nice.
That's what I'm talking
that-
about.
pull that up. That's fucking
the whole
kick-ass.
thing is like that.
That's cool.
And then if you saw the wiring harness, right, it's like he's got like those NASCAR zip ties holding everything down, but they're kind of ugly. So he wraps them in like red leather, like wire wraps.
That's sort of fun.
Bitchin' looking.
attention to detail at unique places is always fun.
Yeah. Oh, you'd freak out.
But bro, you crossed the 7-figure mark. You know what I mean?
Marlon
I
would
need
be-
the valets to move some other shit out of the way.
it's not about that. It's not. But Marlon would
I
be
do
the
need
best
some of
guest.
that.
Marlon would be the best guest you've ever had on the show because
Okay.
you'd be like Ford GT, be like that shit.
Yeah,
And
I
then
like
you'd-
that.
And then you'd be
That's
like
fun.
Corvette. Oh, that's shit. Other 911s, shit. Like the cars you build, they're overpriced shit. I mean,
It's like that Frank guy, fucking Lotus guy. You know, I just had Rod Emery on, who was one of
yeah.
the most interesting people
I
ever.
like Rod. Yeah, he's a good guy.
The math of his life. He's 44 years old. He's been building cars for 30 years. That's some fucking math.
He builds great stuff too. I love the way his cars
I got to go
look.
to his shop. I've seen his
yeah.
cars out in the wild.
We should go together because I have a date with him.
Do you?
Yeah, but it's just like one of those like we'll do it in the future.
I know. I need to do it.
Let's do it.
All right. Trip to North Hollywood. To the
Sweet.
secret address.
I know. Oh yeah, I know where it is. But yeah, we should.
No, yeah, he doesn't tell, but he doesn't.
Right,
His
right.
philosophy is amazing. He doesn't tell people, not because he doesn't want like randos to stalk him. It's because he doesn't want customers bothering him at work. It's
Sure.
so
Good
funny.
idea. Makes
Yeah,
sense.
he's like, I pick up the car from their house and they don't.
Because they'd stop by. Like, how's it going? What's
Yeah.
going on? Oh, why is it taking so long?
That's what he
Was
said.
it-
He
yeah,
said the
of course.
first 10 years, he was like, people wouldn't leave him alone. He couldn't get anything done. Now no one knows where he works. It's hilarious.
That's funny. Yeah,
very,
no, his
very
stuff's
funny.
awesome. His stuff's awesome. Nice guy too.
So at the other end of the spectrum,
Yes.
let me tell you about $1 million driving experience for 35 grand.
Are these those things you were driving?
The cross
Yeah,
cars.
yeah. What is that?
Homie, life game changing.
Okay, because Jethro's been bugging me to do something
This
like that.
is nuts.
Okay.
So I drove those EXR cars a couple years ago, the spec race cars, and my instructor there, Kevin Madsen, who's a boss, he's really fucking fast. He was the dude who recovered the camera that fell off the windshield while I was driving and like shot. It was awesome. Why do I have an echo in my head? Is that the live feed?
Yeah.
Okay, sorry. So anyway, he now works with these guys. So they invited me out to this place, Paris Auto Speedway, which is a half-mile dirt oval with an infield I don't know,
like rallycross
squiggle
course.
rallycross
we've been
course.
out there for something.
Apparently, the place is like $500 a day to rent. It seems fucking great.
My producer
I might
would love
honestly
that.
have to get some snows for the Focus. You want to just do a dirt track day?
Yep.
I think we can just do that. So,
what's the vehicle?
Okay, so I drove 2 different vehicles. This company, it's called. All right, there's a couple different things. There's this thing called Formula X Autocross or Formula Cross, and they have 2 different classes. There's the cross kart class, and then there's the sprint buggy class. And so I drove both vehicles. The cross kart is a single seat miniature sprint buggy.
Okay, I like
with
it.
very expensive bypass shocks,
Right.
like $7,000 shocks, tube frame chassis.
Sure.
Manual steering.
Okay.
Very good brakes. At like 10.5 inches or so of suspension travel.
Okay, so it's like a little mini Raptor.
Yeah,
with brakes.
And and it's 650 pounds chassis, and it has a Gixxer 750 engine with a 6-speed sequential. It makes 170 horsepower.
Okay, so power to weight's like 3.
That's amazing.
The power to weight is it's like 3 pounds per horsepower. But with me in it, it changes it.
Well, not much though.
Yeah, it does. I'm fat. I fuck up the weight ratio by like 30%.
Yeah, but I was like 4-1. It's still a Veyron or better.
Dude, it's so fast. And so obviously it's a Gixxer engine. It revs to 15,000.
Okay.
And it sounds like a Formula 1 car.
Yeah.
And
I'm in.
It mobs. It's just mobs.
I saw you just going sideways in mud, and I was like, that looks like fun.
Amazing.
Okay.
And so
What is
then
do they have a racing series? Like, what is the? Because they look like fun as fuck, but what is the point of them?
it looks fun as fuck. They have a racing series that races alongside in between these like sprint races, like Thursday night midgets and shit. And apparently this place, which Tim, pull up this screen crap here. These grandstands apparently completely sold out of crazy drunk people. Of
course. Sure.
You know, sprints cars and shit. And so they race these buggies and they do heats. It's like, I don't know, 3 races that are maybe 12 minutes or so each. And they said they got 5 buggies in each race. So right now
That's
they're trying
enough
to get
to
more
be
people.
crazy.
They're selling the buggies. The small ones are 35 grand. And then the big ones are 65 grand.
What's in the big one?
The big one is 1,100 pounds buggy, roughly the same thing, just bigger.
What, same engine or
No,
different?
Hayabusa engine.
Oh,
Lower revving, a little more torque at the bottom.
Sure.
Same speed, 6-speed sequential, but it has a reverse transfer case, so it has reverse, unlike the other one. The other one doesn't have reverse. Yeah, it's so light. So this one has reverse.
Okay.
So it's 1,100 pounds and 200 horsepower.
Okay.
So and it's more like car-like, and it has 12 inches of suspension
don't laugh,
travel.
because when you're done with this, because I just drove like maniac British cars. Like I drove like the Caterham 620 S.
Which is like a death.
310 horsepower, weighs 1,200 pounds, and then the Ariel Atom 35R, which is about the same weight and 350 horsepower, and like is completely rear engine.
My God.
And goes off like a bomb.
Did you spend the whole day feeling like you were about to die?
Only in the Caterham because
Look at that fucker thing. Wow, it looks mean.
It's mean. So the Ariel shows up on like tires, which have like grooves in them. The Caterham shows up on
tires,
slicks, like look like this with like lines in them for like drain water. So like my first corner, I'm in the wrong lane and I'm about to crash a freaking car, like because it was wet and we're in Wales, so it's like hail, snow, sheep shit. It rained constantly.
Oh my God.
So I was I love 7s. I know you were saying you hate them because you don't fit in them, but
yeah, I don't hate them. I just don't fit.
I just fit. I'm maximum size. Like if I was like a little fatter, forget it. But I just fit fine. But it was a sequential 6-speed.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous,
crazy.
And then the Ariel was even crazier because it had no. I hate Ariels.
bodywork.
I hate Ariels. So
I'm not a particular fan either.
You're from England, right? All it does is rain, and then if you go to Wales, that's all. Right? There's just nothing but rain and sheep shit everywhere.
Made a car with no bodywork.
Yeah, as I kept saying to Jethro, I'm like, they solved puddles in 1912. Like that problem is over. No, not the Ariel. Like first puddle, I'm like from the waist down soaked, and then
my God,
and then you turn the wheel to the right, and the tire throws water right in your face. Nowhere else. It goes just sheep shit right in the face. I was like, of course we didn't have cameras rolling, but we stopped. I get out. I'm like, fuck this car, fuck your country, fuck sheep. Like, it was so bad.
Can you give him a pass for the Nomad?
I want to drive that.
Can you pull up that picture? Tim, I have to be honest with you. Maybe you guys can make a judgment call on this. There's got to be someone smarter than me who's thought of this before. But first glance, those wheel covers don't look nearly adequate to protect you from the gravel that might get kicked up.
No.
They don't. There was an aerial guy there. We had an aerial guy there. And I'm like, hey, what if you extend them? He's like, yeah, we have those. Those are an option. I'm like,
oh my God, go fuck yourself.
Not only that.
They've out Porsche.
Not only that. They have like plexiglass covers that'll like be a body panel that snap in. They didn't give them. I'm like, you knew we were going to be driving.
Yeah. And you want to sell options. Give
through
it to a
rivers of sheep shit. And you didn't give us.
I think the U.S. spec car that Spinelli drove on Drive had the plastic body panels.
Yeah, I think he did because he drove in the rain.
Yes, he drove
rain day, right?
Just like now. That said, I will say that this new one is like it's the old Type R engine supercharged. I don't know exactly how it works, but let's say like 5,000 and you're upshifting or whatever. The first time I heard it, Jethro was driving, and I'm like, oh my God, the car exploded. Like, I have to find another host, you know? And then the camera guys are like, no, it's been doing that. And it sounds like a fucking bomb. It's insane.
When it shifts, just boom.
Is it sequential?
Yeah, they're both those cars are sequential. Now, there's a Caterham, which we brought in for the end of the episode. It's called the 620S, and it's a 5-speed manual. And it's like, and it has a windshield.
Oh, it's like the crazy engine in a normal car.
Yeah, it's a little softer. I would stick to the hard suspension, but it's got like again a manual and a windshield. Make it the greatest car in the whole world. But like, I hate sequentials. I've never had a sequential in a car actually, except for actually the Ariel. I'll be fair to them. It's paddle and it works perfect. But like the stick sequentials, they never work. You can never get it into reverse. Like I had a bruise on my palm from like punching the thing.
I remember there was a car I drove where I ended up with a bruise on my palm after a while. So the cross cart.
Yeah, cross cart. That looks
okay. That sounds awesome. That Caterham. I'm about that. I was happy with that tangent. That was good.
Sorry.
No, it's fine.
Because you're like 1,100 pounds, 200 horsepower. I'm like,
yeah.
For babies.
So actually, this video that Tim has, this first one is actually the bigger one, which we can show first. So despite being bigger and having more power, it was actually a little more tame. And
well, a little more weight, right?
It was more weight, and it required a lot more muscle to drive it. I was exhausted after driving this. So check this out. I think volume, and still sounds pretty cool. Big lean, big drift.
Big drift, hanging.
It's like a trophy truck.
It's like a trophy truck.
It dives down.
Yeah. Yes, and with that rear engine, you know the engine's at the back.
Is it rear or mid rear?
No, that's rear.
Rear.
Because like I've heard the Aerial is like rear. Like it bounces real weird.
But they fixed it. It actually sticks. But but that's hysterical looking.
It looks awesome. And look here, when it comes in, I really lean on it sideways. It really kind of leans down, digs, and it under braking. Look at that. It's like a hump sideways brake.
So sideways.
The front is dropping like 6 inches.
Yeah, it's got this is the bigger buggy, and it has like 12 inches of travel.
Jeez. They're gonna have jumps in these races.
So this
soon.
one is really you drive it sort of like a trophy truck, and when you see the one take, you'll realize I spin it twice in the one take because actually, after driving the smaller one, which is like a manic fucking crazy thing,
right?
You know, you get on the throttle too quick. You actually really have to wait now.
Right.
The bigger one that's the bigger one again, Tim. You can pull that.
If you get on the gas too early, does the wheel start gripping too early and it pendulums back the other way?
It's just like the Busa motor made a lot of torque. So if you just stabbed it too early, you know the benefit. Yeah, here's the show this one. This is entry. Corner entry and well possible spin out frankly this is a decreasing radius entry and I came over the berm there and see that little stab there and I shake my head in the video. I'm upset but I'm able to donut it out.
Right.
You might notice pause there the rear Fuchs wheels on this
I like
buggy.
That. Yeah.
So it's very interesting. It's
Porsche Transaxle or something?
Well, it's a Hayabusa engine and gearbox, and which then goes through a Volkswagen something
Case?
that has the reverse in it.
Right.
So
yeah,
it
so
uses
it's a
that.
Volkswagen transaxle.
Yeah.
That they put the gears out of a Hayabusa.
Right. Yeah.
I just can't ignore how much it's diving. That's
It's
awesome.
a lot of dive. So this here now. This is the smaller one. It occurred to me before you play this, Tim. I described this a bit incorrectly, a bit inaccurately. So the basic cross cart that you buy for $30,000 is actually a 600. It's a CBR 600 engine.
Okay, that's a good engine.
It's small.
Still fast.
It's still it did still appear very fast. I drove it for 2 laps, and I physically couldn't fit my hands between the steering wheel and my knees. And I went, guys, I just can't drive this. I'm sorry. And so I was too big. You'd be fine. Clapman would be fine. Johnny would be somewhere in between, but probably would be okay. So this one that I drove is a modified one. It's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
A little bit. This is actually the one Bucky Lasik races, and this one.
Why do I know that name?
Former skateboarder, now rally driver, rally cross driver, and now he races these things for fun on the weekends. And we tweeted each other. He said if people knew about these, nobody would ever race anything else. And he's fucking completely right. Check this out. Play this shit. This is Bucky's with the 750 in it. Listen.
Oh wow.
Dude, this shit looks like it's in fucking fast forward, son.
Wow. It looks like it still has plenty of grip though. The drifts are
so
easy to control.
small.
Crazy, right? So
it
small.
looks like one of those like weird like JDM only Toyota individual mobility wagons or whatever. But it's also
Is it the Elio motor?
It still has
really
that
quick.
same dive and transition. Here's another clip where you can see this is right at the end of a decreasing radius entry into a couple of transitions here.
It's got a lot of steering angle, doesn't it?
A lot of angle.
looks fun. Oh, yeah.
It looks nothing but fun.
It is a riot. But let me tell you
I gotta
something.
get in touch with him because
Lean.
Jethro's been bugging me about something like this.
Here, this is this is great. This is about at the end of this straightaway. The second gear, it's third gear, fourth gear. There's a fourth gear entry. Oh, it ends.
Wow.
What was I hearing in the back?
We're hearing-
live
we're hearing
stream.
ourselves.
That's it sounds bitchin'.
Sounds crazy.
Wow.
It's exhausting.
Yeah,
I was dripping sweat after like a 12-minute
So good,
session,
though.
and my hands and wrists and arms are fucked today. Listen, fourth gear entry, down 3 gears.
Nice.
Second, sideways through this little ass gap.
That's the one I saw. You posted that.
I put this on Instagram last night.
Yeah.
But it's so quick through these transitions,
That's
and then you
awesome.
can, right here, I just kind of yump that berm a little bit. You can turn it on the berm, swing it around, and then just like big exit speed. It was fun. And on
Real
that
fun.
straightaway, I was seeing like 100 miles an hour.
Seriously? Yeah. Oh my God, it doesn't look like 100 miles an hour
So
at all.
it's funny
Whoa.
what you said about the big one and the torque, because like the aerial, which is torquier than the Caterham, even though power of the weight's probably identical or whatever, but because it's so torquier on the track, you can spin that thing on power, which is hysterical for a rear engine car.
Yeah.
And then you can spin it under. You can't spin it by steering, but you can spin it on braking and power.
Yes.
It's like
Ooh, you gotta be awake.
All you have to do in these buggies is transfer the weight to the front. You can lift,
And
you can shift,
Right.
you can brake. You transfer it to the front and you turn it in.
And that just gives you
and then you just
steering.
lean it on its side. And I was just like, fourth gear drift, brake, third gear drift, like second gear, and you just bring it in one slower drift at a time.
It looks awesome. Yeah.
It's like mechanical handbrake.
Wow.
Wait
Wow.
till you see that. I mean, I don't actually talk all that much because it's exhausting to drive, and I don't have the energy left to talk.
Yeah. I get that. Trust me.
But
That was when I did my
was awesome.
when I did my
Looks really fun. Looks perfect. It looks like the perfect amount of fun.
So Bucky's car was like probably 45 to 50 grand because it has a custom engine and it's not the off the rack model, but like, holy shit, does that look?
It looks like rallycross on cocaine. Exactly what it looks
but
like.
it's just hysterical because it's this miniature little insect that squats. It's like a lizard doing reverse push-ups. It's hysterical.
But imagine, you spend 45 grand on that thing and you rent that track for $400 a day.
oh yeah, yeah.
There's my weekend.
Oh, yeah.
See ya.
You know what I like about that over the razors is you can have all the pitch and roll, but you don't have the high center of gravity that can become a problem for some of us. Can you lift those, or can you set those up for like off-road mode? Do they do that, or is it purely basically for like packed dirt?
If
I think it's set
10
up
inches of travel. That's off-road mode.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could probably mob
put
it
some
off-road
off-road
if
wheels
you
on
wanted.
it.
Yeah, there's no
Cool.
reason you couldn't take that to like Hungry Valley or something. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was seriously fun. Although with the bike engines, you know, it's not the 750 anyway was not good at low speeds. Obviously.
Yeah.
You know,
And sequential
so-
transmissions hate low speeds.
Yeah, stop, and it had no torque. You really
you don't
had to
wanna
dump
rock
the
crawl.
clutch from like
Yeah.
$5,000 to get the thing going.
That's exactly like that Caterham. It's the same thing. It's just so horrible. It's just like so miserable. So wonderful, but so miserable.
Speaking of wonderful,
Yes.
so I booked an Evora 400 for a month.
How? I mean, it was not. It's only going to run for a day. How,
Oh, I don't know. I've heard good things, and I've driven them
Okay.
before. They're nice. So I'm doing 4 track days: Laguna Seca, Sonoma,
Nice.
Button Willow,
Yeah.
and Big Willow.
yeah.
Not bad.
But actually, to be fair, Button Willow is kind of like fun for a track day.
Button Willow is fun for a track day,
Yeah.
and Laguna Seca, dude.
It's the greatest.
Laguna Seca is great for a track day.
We took a G-Wagon around Laguna Seca. It's the best track. in the
Toyota
world.
engine, it should be fine,
I took a
right?
G-Wagon around Willow Springs. It was horrific.
You know,
Streets.
That's a
is
different
terrible.
episode. A different episode.
No,
We'll get to how wrong you are later.
No,
This is a rare
G-Wagons.
a rare time when John comes by. We don't talk about G-Wagon.
G-Wagon free.
Should we get to questions soon? Do you feel like that time?
We can get to some Super Chat questions. If you guys want to submit your questions right now, live viewers, we are going to go to Super Chat and take your questions live for some of this show. And then I have to do this bit. So we have I got a really nice sponsorship from Haggerty.
Ooh.
They're doing good things now.
Competitor of ours, but that's a cool.
No, it's okay. We
Yeah,
have a fun little bit to do at the end.
It's fine. I don't think Discovery Channel competes with Haggerty, so.
No, we're very happy with
I did real quick. one
Discovery
thing.
Insurance.
I just want to say, I just want to get it out there because it was the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. Did you see me do Barrett Jackson?
I saw
it on
your post
Instagram.
about it.
It was I got there and they basically said like, hey, you're responsible for find one car every half hour and be like, coming up next, here's this. Mm-hmm. And I get there and they're like, Mike Joy, the voice of NASCAR on Fox, he's got a family emergency, so you're going to be live on stage. And I'm like, oh, and they go, well, you know, you've watched it before, right? I'm like, no. And they go, well, you've been to a Barrett Jackson before. No. And they're like, what are you doing here? I'm like, I don't know. And I was on stage for like more than half the weekend.
Oh my
It was
God.
insane.
Did you get comfortable ever?
I was, you know what, to be fair, it was Steve Magnante.
Steve Mignante.
Yeah, it's Magnante, but yeah. Everyone
Is
says,
it?
Yeah. Mags. Let's call him Mags.
Oh, they say
He cleans
Mignante
his-
in
yeah,
the promos.
right.
They fuck up every
Everyone-
promo.
Every promo forever. Anyways, Steve Mags.
guy.
It was like finding a long lost brother. We were instantly like super comfortable with each other, and like he's like, "Oh yeah, that Mustang. Well, the 5th number of the VIN's a K, which means it's a 281 with solid cams. Yeah. And so he's that kind of guy. And then he knows nothing. They could put a Mercedes on stage from like 10 years
Modern
ago,
car,
and he's
nothing?
like, "Oh, it's red," and I'm like,
that's
"Oh, well,
awesome.
actually,
What a
I know
great
this."
niche for you.
Yeah,
You're
and-
the 90s and 2000s guy?
And it worked
Oh,
out great. It worked
right in
out
your
great.
wheelhouse.
It was weird. It worked out super great because I knew. They're like, is that a real AMG? I'm like, no. That's the SL500 with an AMG sticker on
That's
it.
fantastic.
And it was. And they're like, how do you know that? I'm like, well,
That's fucking
Yeah.
perfect for
Yeah,
you.
it was.
You instantly had a role.
It was great. It was
jealous.
It
Seems
was,
like you'd slide into that really easily, and it seems like they have more and more like new cars
So
coming
that's
on the
what
Mika
they
and the
were
Barrett,
saying
and-
was that they call it late model prestige, but like I can't tell you how many like Bangle 7 Series and like
Trash.
SLK 350s and like
I can. I was there.
first gen Boxsters are coming across the
was this
block.
Florida?
It was the Palm Beach.
Palm
one.
Beach,
Yeah,
yeah.
West Palm Beach.
I did see that. I saw the tents at Barrett Jackson and Scottsdale, and
Yeah.
there is a ton of trash.
A ton.
ton of great stuff. Ton of trash also.
Dude, look, all I got to tell you is there was a 2000 996 black, perfect, like low, like 20,000 miles. It sold for 13 grand.
Wow.
And then the next car was a hunk. Well, I shouldn't say that, but it was a well-used 4th gen Firebird, which sold for $14,000.
Come on.
And I'm like, how do I bid from hosting the show?
They don't let you?
No, I mean I could. You can't.
I hosted Meekum and they said I could.
Exactly.
I could do it.
That's the enemy. Meekum's. I was told Meekum's
I did
the
it
enemy
for a
of Barrett
day.
Jackson. Yeah.
Can I tell you, I was at SEMA last year and I saw Steve Mignanti in the elevator at the hotel, and I was like, Steve Mignanti. I was like, dude, you are like king nerd.
Dude, you have no idea. You have no idea.
Oh, I have every idea. I've watched Barrett Jackson for years. I have every idea. But I think he thought I was like kind of insulting him. Like if you're out there, Steve,
he's out there.
I meant this as such a compliment. I am a huge fan of your nerdery. Your nerdery is legendary. Legendary, man.
Is he the one that puts blindfolds on and touches the car and figures out what it is?
He's the fucking Vin whisperer, dude.
Yeah, I'm familiar with him. I just remember
every single car is like, well, actually, it's sitting on a Dana 60. It came from the factory with the Dana 44. Obviously, they hire him. Barrett Jackson hires him a week before to look at all the custom cars. And when they're like, it has a 396, and that's what it originally came with, he'll be like, no, that came with a 318.
He's like one of my dream guests for this podcast is Steve Mignanti. Oh yeah, you got his phone number? Can we get him in here?
I'm gonna send him a picture right now. Yeah,
we gotta get him in here. Does he live in Los Angeles?
No, he lives in like Massachusetts somewhere.
Okay.
Of course,
we should. If he ever comes to LA,
he does.
Steve Mignanti, I want you.
You
are the king nerd, sir.
I'm still blown away.
I might need you to mediate.
Oh yeah. You need me to translate. Yeah. Oh man. In fact, as soon as we turn this off, do I have some stories to tell you?
I wonder when he's like real drunk.
I would love to talk hot rods with that guy and see where things are going, where they've been, all that stuff.
He drives. He literally is like, okay. First of all, he has a smart car. He's like, it just makes a lot of sense. Like,
but
of course he has the most
why
practical.
Does it make?
Listen to me. He has a smart car, and he drives around like in a funny car.
Is his other cars like the Power Tour 7-second funny car?
So he is the yin and the yang. That is.
He's just like, he's like, it makes sense. I live by myself. Like, what do I need more than a smart car?
Except for this 1,500 horsepower Nova.
Yeah, his 1,500 horsepower. Like, no, it's a Mopar. He's a Mopar guy. It's some gasser. Like, it's like, yeah,
awesome.
I'm so in love with this guy. I can't even like. It was like meeting my long lost brother.
I would love to. I'm so glad that you guys had so much fun. I'd love to get him on the show.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Great guest. All right, what do we got on the super chat, Timmy? Love when Johnny comes and talks bourbon. Thank you, sir. Since Mitsubishi has canceled the Evo, will we bring back the 3000 GT VR4? Yeah, really profitable car.
Yeah, I think Mitsubishi should cancel Mitsubishi at this point because, like, actually, Renault bought them or something weird. Like, it's now the Alliance, whatever they call it. It's Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi.
What are they going to do?
I don't know. I guess in other markets, obviously they're totally dead in the U.S. Even though, actually, to be fair, their SUVs sell like crazy because it's like $21,000 for a 3-row 7-seater with every option.
Is that the Endeavor?
I don't
still
know.
make that. Is that what it is?
They're the soup plantation of cars. It's like here's everything you want for $7.
Don't insult fucking soup plantation.
Can we insult tender greens? The most disgusting food.
The guys I was working with recently, they were like, "What is soup plantation?" Oh, it was Hardegree, and I explained what it is.
Bar.
He's like, "Yeah, you can't have that in the South. You can't. There's no soup plantation."
Yes, you fucking can. In Atlanta, I had a place I used to go to when I was growing up called Lettuce Surprise You.
Right, but what is it? You know what it was not called?
You're saying plantation.
Plantation. Yeah. That was the same thing. Remember when Alonzo Bowden came in here and was like, I could never buy that. I was like, why? He's
Confederate.
like, it's called a Confederate.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah. And he had a great point.
That's a good point. Anyways, I don't know what they're doing, but I think in India, they sell a lot of Mitsubishis. And China, they sell a lot of Mitsubishis. So there's some value there.
Probably true. All right.
But yeah, canceling the Evo was like just the dumbest thing. Like, there's no other reason to even talk about them.
What do they have now? Like,
not from the... Oh, sorry.
Whoa.
That was Siri. Siri fucked me there. I don't know what happened. I leaned on it. And as for the 3000 GT, not going to happen.
It would take
and
a
also,
lot.
he says the granddaddy of the Evo since it came out first. It may have come out first, but the Galant VR4 is the granddaddy of the Evo,
but wait a
not
second.
the 3000 GT.
The Evo 1 wasn't that before the 3000 GT?
Possibly. 3000 GT.
Also, you ever driven a 3000 GT?
Yeah, it's not good.
You ever weighed one?
I can take a couple guesses though.
It's
Let me see, heaviest 38, 50. Really?
Oh, dude. 4-wheel steering back then was like chains. They actually had like metal chains that went all the way around the car. I mean,
Oh my God. A couple people have just given donations. Thank you, Alan.
Hey, he says hi there.
Hi there, Alan. Thank you. I did the one take with your V8 Vantage last year. Yes, Grant with the black manual transmission V8 Vantage. It was a lovely car. He bought it for a reasonable price used, and I recommend everyone do that.
That's sort of the smart thing to do. So I've Esposito, Anthony Esposito, my old director. He bought like the nicest one in the universe, 2013, for like he sold his M3, bought a V8 Vantage, and like made money.
Wow,
good call.
People buy M3s,
Yeah.
and like it was a nice M3, but it's a V8 Vantage.
Yeah.
And then Mike Schaefer just bought a super sweet 2009 manual.
Oh, everyone's just buying V8 Vantages.
Tavares bought
It's
one,
very
right?
smart. Well, Freddie bought one. Doug bought it, then sold it to Freddie, and then Freddie sold it to some other like third-gen
They're
YouTuber.
awesome. Look good, sound good, everything.
Anyway, Grant's question, in addition to his car choice being awesome, tell us about your experience doing the Milli Millia, Johnny.
Oh, well, that was many years ago, but man, it was the greatest thing ever. So let's see. I showed up. Mercedes said, here you go. Here's a dark red, which we call Dunkelrot, 1956 300 SL. So it was probably one of two cars in the race that was comfortable. It was, without question, the fastest car at the race. So every day we passed the same 50 cars.
You start 51st
it
every
was,
fucking day and then pass.
No, we were like, there's like 450 cars. So we were like, they actually do it by year. So like 19, I can't remember, 55, 56. We were towards the back, but we passed 50 cars.
How much of the people driving the Millia are just cruising, looking at the scenery, and how many are driving fast?
Zero. Everyone's driving like a fucking scalded ape. You got to understand. I mean, here's the Milli Millia. So, I think they said 1.8 million people stood on the streets to watch us drive by, and every single one of them was screaming and spinning in circles and like. All you do is come away thinking Italy is the greatest country in the world, populated by the greatest people in the history of Earth.
True.
The cops, they have 24 bike cops that, first of all, they're all complete studs wearing their like blue uniforms with the pink stripes. And
they have like the white holster.
Oh, yeah.
I am here to fuck you.
White leather belt, yeah.
Remember we were in Italy and the cop was at the bar?
Yeah.
True story.
Yeah.
9 p.m. The cop's leaning on a table at a bar.
Of course, it's an Italian cop. So these guys are complete studs, and they will ride ahead of you. They will smack cars on the roof and get them to move out of your way so you can blow red lights.
I love Italy.
You have no idea. Like, it's insane. My greatest memory.
The difference between class and lack of class is not your activity. It's the vehicle you do it in. You do that shit in a Huracan.
Yeah.
Fucking douchebag asshole. You do it in a 300 SL. It's like, yeah, manja.
Oh,
anything old, man.
So like. I'm just trying to think. There was, I mean, my greatest memory. There's a couple, but the one I'll talk about now. It was we were in the Mercedes. There's a 4-cam 356 Porsche in front of us. One of the cars that can kind of keep up with the 300 SL. There was some sort of Alpha, I can't remember exactly, in front of that, and a bike cop. And we're going into Rome. So from wherever we were, it's a big downhill into Rome, right? And the bike cop's in front, and he finally scoots out of the way, and like the Porsche and us just kind of push the Alpha out of the way. And it's like Mercedes and Porsche, like just going. Bang! You hear this crazy noise. The 4-camera turned into a 3-camera.
Oh, no.
And we're just nothing in front of us, wide open freeway all the way into Rome. Like
Fairly gangster.
Like Caesar, man. And then we get there and we roll across a ramp and they hand us a microphone. And it's like, at the time I spoke 2 words of Italian. It's like, Italy, you're the greatest. We love you. And the whole city's screaming. And then at midnight, the cops give us they close down all the streets in Rome and they give us a guided tour of Rome.
No way.
And we had the gulls up,
Seriously? That's so pimp.
It was the greatest thing ever. And my first time in Rome. It was insane.
That's a good way to... Yeah, you probably love Rome after that.
There's the Colosseum. There's the Parthenon. I mean, it was
from a gull wing with the fucking... the police.
Yeah, I went there when I was 13 with my grandma. It was different.
Yeah. And then what the greatest thing about doing it with Mercedes is because they have customers that pay them to either you borrow a car from the museum or you bring your own car. They have 50 German engineers chasing you around. And so... the Mercedes are pretty reliable, and so at night you get there, you're like, yeah, the brakes felt a little soft and the alternator light was on. Fix it. We're going to go drink.
Oh my God.
No way.
In the morning you have a
Delightful.
brand new car.
This is so gangster.
Yeah. Dude, and
I need to do this.
It's, yeah.
Rich people really do know how to have a fucking good time.
you don't even know.
I mean,
I
of course they
and
should.
I can imagine.
Right?
You know.
You don't even know, because the hysterical thing was, by the fourth day, no one cares. They're just kind of over it. So everybody, every like 100 miles, you stop and get a beer.
Oh, God.
And then, again, you have the cops on your side.
I know. I have a hypothesis that it's impossible to get a ticket in a car that's more than 35 years old. Yeah. It's just not possible.
So
I think people look at it as like a gift that you're driving that thing.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. It's a
we weren't
cultural-
doing
You're
that.
doing culture for everybody else. So like,
Yeah.
that was fun. I fucking blasted by a cop at Alfa Romeo Montreal at 7,000
Yeah.
RPM.
Oh, what
And he
a
was
great
probably
car.
like, wow, that sounded great.
It sounds so good. I love that car. Anyways, we weren't stopping for beers because, you know, Gordon Wagner, the head of design for Mercedes. So we were trying to beat him. That was our bogey. We didn't do it, but it was just awesome. It was. Oh, the other thing that was amazing was we went to Monza, and the reason we didn't beat them was sadly it's a rally, so they make you do like those special sections, which are just it's like go 38 kilometers an hour for 33 seconds. It's just I hate them, and so we fucked it up.
TST, bro.
Yeah, we fucked it up so bad. Like I don't even want to get into it. Anyways, we fucked it up. So my navigator, Rob Moran, the head of Mercedes-Benz North America for public relations, he's like, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, we're on Monza. It no longer matters because we fucked up. And I'm going like 110 miles an hour on the banking at Monza in a 300 SL. It was like the greatest moment of my life.
That's amazing.
It was insane. Just insane.
Yeah, that sounds like a good time.
Passing everybody who's going 38 kilometers an hour for 33 seconds. I just go
Because
above
it's Silver State.
Oh, it was so good.
they're like, that guy's gonna lose. You're like,
Yep.
No.
That guy won everything.
I won.
I'm the champion of it all. It was. Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
That sounds great.
But you know what you could do? You could get a 1955 Volkswagen Bug and do it.
Oh,
Yeah.
very slowly.
It doesn't matter.
True.
You drive as fast as you can.
You need to do something cool. You need to be a cool car. I can't do it in a not cool
Jag
car.
XK120,
that's-
Aston
no,
Healy
there's
3000.
definitely-
There's a
there's
lot of
affordable cool
fast,
cars. Yeah, yeah.
affordable-ish. I mean, they're all
There's a
getting
million
expensive.
XKs. Oh, is it? You have to be pre 55.
57.
Okay.
But you could get a Citroen
XK120s.
DS. You could get a Saab 92 or 3.
That's an old fucking song.
It would be really slow.
rough.
Lotus 11? Sorry.
Yeah, no, it's cool.
You
There's a
can do
lot
it.
of
You can do it.
options.
You can do it.
We then had a commenter who asked, and then another commenter who answered. Why is Zach looking at the camera weird? Because he fucking can, because he's an OG. Thank
I'm
you.
keeping
YouTube.
track of things.
Yeah, he makes sure shit is all right.
I love
son.
Justin's comment. He donated $2, but he wrote 20.
That's really.
Yep.
Real.
That's like putting a 10
No,
on the
he
outside of
then
your
two
watch.
comments lower donated an actual 20.
He had an actual question as
Oh,
well.
okay.
We
I
missed
thought,
Justin did?
I thought he was
Yeah.
doing
What
the
did Justin
Monopoly
do?
money on the
$20.
back.
I combed through the regular questions to see what was going on. He
Good for you.
meant to say, my question is when to buy an investment grade R34 if I want to be at or below 100 grand.
Now,
As
but
soon as
stored
possible.
in a different country.
Yeah, he just Justin. By the way, in case I recognize Justin, he bought my Skyline. That's that Justin.
Okay.
He's a collector from San Francisco, and he's like a Silicon Valley type of guy, and he's a very good dude. And
What did he? Can you say what you sold it for?
I sold it for top of the market 2 years ago. That's middle of the market right now.
Gotcha.
So it was, and since he still has the car, he bought it well. He just bought it early.
Right.
So he's going to come out good ahead on that car. Right. And he wants an R34.
Yours was a 32.
Mine was a 32.
That's
yes.
the best one.
I like 34s. I like the 6-speed gearbox a lot. I like the more power a lot.
Yeah, but the 32s are like.
They're
Can
lovely.
can you bring a 34 in the country now
No.
at all?
No.
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 Okay. So you got to
have-
rent
You can buy a
place in
Motor X
Canada.
car, which is $200,000, or you got to buy one from in Canada and keep it up there, or Mexico, or anywhere not America.
Right.
So I mean, that's the thing is like, what is it 98? So what's 25 years from 98? Right, 2023. So
Wow,
you gotta.
I could never do that math.
You got to deal with it. You got to find somewhere for 5 years to stash it. So how much does it cost you to stash it for 5 years? You know what I mean?
Store a
Like,
car, a couple $100 a
you know,
month,
they're going to be valuable cars. R34s are rare. it's like, what does it cost you to stash it in another country for a while? If you can swing that.
I would recommend, what's that track in Canada? A Soyuz?
What's that?
Area
27. Area 27. Yeah. Get a racetrack membership in Canada and make it a vacation car.
That's a killer
go
track.
visit it.
How close is that to the ocean for rust reasons?
Oh, not far at all. It's in a desert, actually. It's actually, believe it or not, there's a desert in Canada, and that's where that track is, and it's wine country too. So
we looked at an aerial view of that track, and it looked really nice.
Good. It's like, I give it a strong B+, and all I mean by that is there are two corners that are like, why are they here? They're so dumb and boring. They're like, the whole track is like banked and killer, and there's two flat throwaway corners. And
Those are for drifting.
That's actually, it's interesting. I hope that helps Justin, but it brings us to our next question, which is what U.S. tracks are underrated for pure driving fun and which are overrated. I think Big Willow is overrated and not fun.
I don't think it's overrated. I think it's just plain not fun, and it's so hard on your tires.
It's hard on your tires
unless you're us, where like they literally Michelin shows up with tires for you.
Yeah,
like I would never drive my own car there.
I don't like Willow at all.
No, it's so dangerous.
Let's see.
So
underrated for pure driving fun. Let's see. Okay, there's a track in called Brainerd that is incredible. It's in Brainerd.
Where's
Minnesota?
In Minnesota. Wow. It has the fastest right-hand corner in North America. It's like 150 plus right-hand corner. Okay. Very fast, high banking.
Is he asking U.S. tracks?
Yeah, U.S. tracks. US underrated U.S. tracks. I think Brainerd is incredible.
Overrated Sebring.
Sebring sucks.
Yeah, Sebring's...
I don't think...
a lot of great history. There's a track in Oregon. What's that called? Oregon Raceway
the Ridge?
Park? No.
The Ridge
I think it's called Oregon Raceway Park. So you fly to Portland, you drive until you fall asleep, and it's like 2 miles to the left. It's middle of... it's Idaho, basically. But it's like... It has the greatest corner that is on like... It's like a half pipe on a skateboard thing.
Awesome. Really?
Yeah, it's insane.
Whoa, that's fun. That's if you want to go international, Bilsterberg in Germany.
That's
like
nuts.
a weird roller coaster.
That's real nuts.
But and remember the one from Sweden? Knutstorp Ring?
Oh, yeah.
There's a place
that
in
was not
Sweden
a good track,
called the Knutstorp Ring that has the wonkiest pretzel section you will ever fucking see in
It's
your
not
life.
really for cars. It's for like go-karts.
Yeah, I bet that cross cart on slicks would be mobbing on that track.
How do you remember what that's called? Knutstorp. Yeah.
Knutstorp Ring.
I remember Justin Bell was like, "Oh yeah, I raced there. The girls were wonderful."
I bet they were.
Anyways, this place is Oregon, and it's in a grass field, so there's nothing to hit. You could make the biggest mistake, fly off the track at 200 miles an hour, and you'll just go into Idaho, and it's fine.
That sounds
very
fun.
cool track.
I'm trying to think of other tracks I drove on like one lap that were
overrated.
High Plains outside of Denver is really fun.
High Plains is almost identical to this Oregon place.
Really?
It's really
it was very fun.
High Plains has like two identical complexes where it's like you'll never really learn the track because it's like there's two back to back.
Little blind.
Yeah, but there's like two sections back to back that are the same, so they could have shortened it. And also, High Plains suffers. I love High Plains, but it suffers from that thing where it's like, all right, dude, our best club members are going to design the track. So every single corner is off-camber, blind, decreasing radius. I like tracks where you can just go fast.
Yeah. It's like a Donald Trump golf course of... No, I liked High Plains.
But I like High Plains.
I liked High Plains. I thought it was fun.
Yeah.
Overrated.
Chuck Wallace got a nice flow to it. I mean, I was just there.
When it's not covered in sand.
True.
That's the problem with Chuck Wallace, the wind and the sand. And the nearest, like, horrible restaurant is 45 minutes.
Very far away, yeah.
Oh, no, the facilities are terrible. But you
nice
just kind of,
people.
it's out in the middle of nowhere, you're kind of surprised. You're like, oh, it's very flowy and it's got a big bank corner.
Yeah.
I haven't driven enough tracks,
food.
frankly.
Bring your own food.
Yes.
What's overrated? Like
I haven't driven it yet, but I have friends who've driven Coda a lot that say it's not that fun to drive unless you have like a zillion horsepower.
Coda's strange.
I heard the tarmac is shifting there. Like they have the G-forces from the F1 cars are
really?
putting so much pressure on the dirt that it's like wrinkling.
I've driven it a lot, weirdly. It's strange. Imagine a 20-turn track with 2 braking zones. It's just so it's kind of fun, but then there's these S's which are not unlearnable, but just sort of like, I don't know,
it's never ending.
Kind of. I don't know. It's weird. It depends on. It's really car dependent. You're right. So like I've been in. If you're in big powerful thing, because the back straight is just a mile long. And so if you're in like a Miata, forget about it.
Yeah.
You literally just floor it and sit back.
Yeah.
Have you driven the infield at Fontana at all?
I have. It's nothing to think about or remember. But Coda's weird because it should be really good because it's an F1 track. But
right.
in a street car, it's just kind of not right.
It's the problem with a lot of F1 tracks.
But it's not, I don't think it's overrated. I think it's just like you got to have the right car. Like I drove there in like CTSVs. They were pretty good.
Yeah.
And then I had Johnny O'Connell kind of show me his line, which is just like whatever would do the most damage to your suspension. That's his line. So like look at the S's, just go straight. Don't turn the wheel no matter what, and just bang up on two wheels. And
that's probably fun on a CTSV. Actually,
it was
it's
fun.
Not
and
your
then,
CTSV.
And then he took me out in his ATS-V R. And
the
did
race
that.
car. Yeah. It makes a little more sense in the race car.
Oh my god, it was insane. So yeah, it's pretty good. I don't know. Overrated is tough. Like what's like. Sears Point maybe overrated?
Could be, although I think it's fun. Oh, we skipped a couple. Who besides AMG, who makes the best sounding engines?
Ferrari.
Yeah.
Jaguar.
Jaguar's good. The ZR1 has the loudest idle of any car I've ever heard.
ZR1's the loudest thing I've ever been around.
I'd go with Ferrari because it sounds very different because I think all the ones you just named sound they V80, AMG, Corvette.
Yeah.
Okay.
E63 wagon.
He said besides AMG.
I'm just saying, E63 wagon.
You always have to throw that in.
Yeah.
Okay, 15K.
Oh, hang on real quick. The V10, the Audi Lamborghini V10.
Oh, yeah.
That's
a good one. Pretty
especially
good.
in the Performante is like pretty sweet.
I'm about to drive a supercharged Performante.
Oh, the VF?
The VF car.
I hear that's Walton, one of our guys, Walton, he tested it. He's like, it's just perfect.
Great.
Because it's like 8
everything
pounds
VF
of boost.
builds tends to be about right.
And it won't break.
Well, I'm driving it at the Roval at Fontana.
Yeah.
It'll be fun. 15K to spend on a daily commuter needs more than 2 seats. Debating chipping a GTI or chipping an older Audi TT. Well, so first off, sir, those are the same car.
That's the same car.
The same car, different wrapper.
Yeah. Oh,
so,
well, one has a trunk.
Right. So if you want a Volkswagen-y thing, get a TT, get a GTI. It's all the same shit, really.
Yeah.
15K.
How much is like a 2014 Mustang GT right now?
Probably 15K.
Probably $15,000.
Yeah.
It's got
you can
4
get
seats, trunk.
Yeah, that's a good
Better
car.
power plant.
That's a good car.
You could also get,
WRX. You can get a WRX wagon probably with like 50,000 miles, which look, go GTI, but it is front drive, and if it's daily commute, it doesn't matter how the wheels are powered. But if you're gonna push hard, all-wheel drive's better than front-wheel drive.
Yeah, so what are you doing with it, Yeah. Like
15 should get you a really nice Focus ST used.
Yeah.
Fiesta ST.
Fiesta ST,
actually a great Fiesta ST.
A Fiesta ST with 15 or 30,000 miles on it is 15,700. I was just looking today, thinking about maybe unloading mine.
All right. Well, there you go.
It's a wonderful daily driver.
Talk about the G-Wagon. I'm sorry, sir. Of course.
Who said that?
The guy with the Russian last name.
Who said that?
Adam Ramazanov.
Yes.
Sorry,
Adam.
Nope. I'm disappointing him.
The new G is going to be awesome. Haven't driven it.
When we drive it, then we can talk about it. I promise. It'll be the first. It'll be the first stop.
What we should do is do a whole podcast inside the G on Big Willow with you driving.
Are you going to France
for the G launch? Nah.
You're not?
Nah.
Okay. I actually got invited. I can't go. Believe it or not.
Yeah. I'm going on some other stuff. I can't go.
All right. Well, you'll get it. Next.
Yeah.
Thank you, Kevin, for giving us a donation.
Yeah.
Tyler, I'm sorry. Other show is about watches. We can't do watches here today. Any chance of a reunion with Kamisa?
He doesn't look like that much like Adam Sandler.
Jason quit. He's doing his own thing now.
Yeah. I think you need a reunion.
Yeah.
Thoughts, experience with the S2000? I like the S2000 very much. Rego, I just can't fit in it. The fact that you can't adjust, I can fit in it, but you can't adjust the steering wheel. It's so annoying.
That is a luxury of modern steering columns. That is amazing.
So
especially
annoying.
BMW. I think that thing moves so much. It's great.
But here's the thing, Honda. That car's not that old. They could have done a raking.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
S2000s. I mean, have you driven one recently? Like
2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're all right.
Yeah, they're okay.
They're fine for what they are as like a $12,000 used
here's
car.
Here's the other thing,
though,
and we've talked about this before. Like, they're nice when you get up to 8,500 RPM.
Yeah.
I've never met anyone who owns one who does that, and they're just kind of like, my car's rad. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like
They're okay, they're all right.
They're fine.
They're interchangeable with the Miata.
I would say Type R, Civic Type R. Get that. Anyways.
Yeah. Let's see. Currently drive a 2003 Maxima 6-speed with LSD, and I'm looking for a rear-wheel drive sports car as a secondary fun car for under $20,000.
Used Mustang, used Camaro.
Mustang,
I mean,
used Corvette.
or Miata.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Corvette.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Yeah.
The usual suspects all apply here. I mean, we're not going to out of nowhere recommend you an Exocet. It's
what else?
10,000.
Also you
Try
can,
to find
you
a
can
Genesis
get into
with a
nice,
VW swap.
20,000.
You can get into a nice 3 Series. For you're gonna be
135i,
135 or 335
Yeah.
are under. They're like 15 grand for
Yeah.
a pretty low mile 335.
And you
with a
know what?
manual.
I mean, the curse on those cars is when something goes wrong, and something will go wrong. Suddenly, it's a $5,000 repair.
Yeah.
But when they work, totally sweet. Like totally sweet car.
If you're handy with wrenches and you don't mind Googling a lot of stuff.
Well, it's
you
the
know.
electronic crap that.
Can we cut off the super chat, by the way?
Yeah. I don't think we can.
No?
Actually.
All right, well.
I don't know if we can.
Wait, best joie de vie? Is that, how do you pronounce that?
Joie de vie.
Is that moment in driving?
Moment in driving. What
does that mean?
Just like enjoyment of life, I think. Like, it's just, I don't know. I mean, there's so many. But
There's
the
a lot.
question, there's the one right below that.
What do you think about the
RS4.
B7 RS4?
It's one of the greatest street cars ever made.
It's a lovely car.
I love that
They
car.
can be are they $35,000 still?
The problem with those is everybody did some dumbass mod to them.
Yeah.
So, like I'm gonna lower it. It's like no, it's got like suspension so sophisticated it was banned from rally. You've lowered it, now nothing works and it drives terrible.
Is that the one Craig had? It's
Yeah,
scraped a lot.
He did that.
Yeah. Sounded
He
great.
loved
Yeah,
it.
it's Craig.
all the
Yeah,
time.
Craig
Yeah.
Lieberman.
Yeah.
Not related. That car broke my heart
Blue one?
because it just was
Beautiful
perfect
car.
as is. You don't need.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is also one of the best sounding engines, I think.
Oh, that was
4.2.
just naturally aspirated 420 horsepower V8 with that awesome heavy metal shifter.
Yeah.
And it was better than the R8, I would say. The RS4. The better sort of
Better
car.
than the R8?
Yeah. With
I
the
don't
same
think
engine?
so.
Yeah. Oh,
I
way
don't
better.
think so.
Way better, way better.
A little too much understeer for me, but it was good.
You learn to, so you drive it like a Subaru. You kind of like let the understeer get you where you need to go and then, do some Mark Higgins moves.
Justin gave us more money? God damn it,
Same
Justin.
question.
Oh,
okay.
Let's see. Moving to Italy in the next few months, looking for an Escort Cosworth. Thoughts?
Yeah,
I mean,
you should totally get
sure.
an Escort Cosworth.
In
Get an
Italy?
Escort
You know
Cosworth
what?
in
If you
Italy.
get a 250 GTO, you should get that too.
I mean, if you're moving to Italy and you plan on coming back ever, I definitely recommend buying something that is of age to bring back with you as a souvenir.
Yeah, like
Like an Escort
Delta
Cosworth or a
Integrale
Delta.
or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
That person's living correctly.
Yeah,
You're
well
asking
done.
someone who's never driven an Escort Cosworth, but Ken Block seems to be having a lot of fun with his, so I
Yeah.
can't really argue with
Yeah,
Ken.
yeah.
When are we going to take, what does it say, another stab at under...
At not understeering on California 236. Max is talking shit.
I know. I did a video with Julie in Northern California, and there's this fucking little road that narrows all tight and has this really ridiculous decreasing radius hairpin that's like it's almost too sharp to be real. Anyway, that road is too tight to be filming on.
Yeah. I know roads like that, and to get a Julie to understeer, it's got to be something very severe happening. So
Yeah, I didn't know where that corner was, and that was my fault. I'm not blaming the car, but
okay. So he's just talking smack.
No, I think
It's good. I bet it's good natured.
I think it's good natured, and I think he actually wants to know if I'm going to film on that road.
236. Where is that?
It's in the woods north between Santa Cruz and Palo Alto.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It's lovely, but
Yeah.
it's lovely to sightsee and hike on.
It's funny
too
though.
tight for filming.
I've met a lot of Northern Californians who are like, our roads are the best, and they always are like that. It's like, dude, it's a 1.5 lane like throwaway corner after throwaway corner. It's actually not a good road.
right.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of high speed stuff there. I will say that.
Yeah.
No, I like what is it 9? 9 is good up there.
9's good when it's not busy.
There's great. Look,
Empire's fun.
if you go to the other side of the state where no one goes, which is great because you won't see another car.
The
There's like,
eastern side of the state. Yeah.
Like 20 or 47. 47 might be the best road on planet Earth. No one's ever been on it. It's
I don't
insane.
know if I've ever been on
Calaveras County. It is just madness.
Like near Tahoe, like near the Nevada border?
Kind of between Tahoe and Yosemite area, something like that. Calaveras
Okay.
County, I can't even. It's a joke, but the thing is, I'm always like, we should do a
write that
video
down.
there, and it's like 2 days of travel. You know,
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Remember,
That's
we came out of Yosemite last year, and the road leading down to that town of 1,000 people was brand new tarmac,
And it was
like
dope.
and real nice.
This is north, so you would go north of Yosemite on 47.
That's
and
fucking far.
It's
North
far.
of Yosemite is
Yeah,
really far.
but it's
yeah.
like I can't explain this road. Like I had a AMG GTS, and like I was just as fast as I wanted to go for an hour. I got bored. I'm like, yeah, all right. And
There's
then
a- there's
this
a road
motorcycle
by,
came up, and we just went at it. And, it's just,
There's a road by Lone Pine. Remember the 168?
Yes.
By Lone Pine that connects
Climbs the hill?
Connects to the bristlecone pine forest.
Yeah.
And that road had some like really crazy, like almost half pipey sections. Very wild.
you know, right near there, right out of Bishop, there's Onion Valley Road, and it's like it's better than the Stelvio Pass and those kind of switchbacks, but like not as tight, so you can actually carry speed through them, and it goes up to like 12,000 feet, and you will not see another human being. It's insane. It's like halfway up to what's the big mountain?
McKinley?
No, the one in
Whitney.
Whitney.
Yeah, it's like on the way to Whitney.
Yeah.
It's just an insane. Again, no one's ever been on it. No one's ever heard of it. But Onion Valley Road.
Onion Valley Road.
Yeah,
All right. Now
super
we've all
cool.
heard of it.
Yeah.
Scott C. Ford is canceling sedans. What we think about that? I know it hasn't aired yet, Scott, and I appreciate your donation. But we had a long chat about it on a show with Jalopnik guys who are. It's going to be airing again. When that airs, you can listen to it there. I really can't have that conversation again right now. AP says, ooh, McCready or Gossard? McCready has the skills with the twiddly fingers, but Gossard's writing catalog is better according to me.
I don't know what you're talking
The
about.
two guitarists for Pearl Jam.
That makes sense.
McCready,
It makes
Mike
sense why
McCready's
you know
the
and I
lead
don't.
Guitarist.
Oh,
Stone
God, I
Gossard
have a
is the
funny
rhythm
wow.
guitarist.
I have a funny story. I'll tell you off the air
Okay.
Yeah.
About Pearl Jam?
about Gossard. Well, maybe
About Stone Gossard? I'd like to hear that later. I think Stone Gossard's writing catalog is better than McCready's, although McCready can fucking wail. Do we think an all-electric 911 with Rimac-like torque vectoring technology or a final version of the SLS AMG Electric would be a fun sports car?
I've
Johnny?
driven the SLS electric drive.
Oh, yeah? What'd you think?
It was impressive. Well, all I really remember, I remember two things. One was, remember before AMGs had race mode, they just went from like comfort, sport plus. So the way it worked in that car was 60% power, 80% power, 100% power. So when I finally put it in 100% power, because they're like, okay, this lap you do 60%, put it in 100% power and floored it, and I saw smoke coming up, and I thought it was on fire because no, it was just doing a standing
Silent
four-wheel burnout because it had 4 motors. That was insane. And then I remember this really creepy like engineer was like really hitting on one of the PR girls, and I had to pretend I was like her boyfriend. Long time ago, funny story. Anyways, it was super impressive, but it was also like it was a $700,000 car at the time.
Yeah.
So like that's always
Did they
in
ever
your head.
build it and sell any of those?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You could get the SLS electric?
$700,000. And they made like I don't know 20 or something. But it had like I don't know, no range whatsoever. It was super quick. It did a 4-wheel burnout.
I think an electric 911 could be really cool.
It's coming.
You drove Panamera SE hybrid, right?
I have.
I'm a fan. Are you a fan?
No,
You're not a fan?
I don't. That car makes no sense to me. I charged it all night, and I was able to drive like 20 miles on pure electric. And even then, the motor kicked on a few times, and it's quick.
Did you run on a racetrack?
Yeah.
It's fucking fun on a racetrack.
5,300 fucking pounds.
Yeah, but for that, it mobs. It mobs for 5,300
I'd rather have a
pounds.
Trackhawk for
Of
half the
course.
price, and it's,
That's probably a good point.
And the Trackhawk is just as heavy.
But
and
don't you think Porsche could make a neat electric 911 based on
100%
what that car, how that car drives?
100% guaranteed that they have one coming.
Yeah.
And it's going to kick ass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Porsche. Look, when Porsche designs Porsches, they're almost impossible to beat. Some things can beat them, but almost impossible.
When they as opposed to when they design Q5s and they're
No, when Audi makes a Q5 and then they slap a Macan badge on the back of it and say it's a Porsche.
I agree with you in theory,
Macan,
but
though.
I have a lot of Macan experience, and I happen to like the Macan very much.
I can name a lot of sporty SUVs that kick its ass. Is all. And
Like
it's just,
what?
The new Stelvio.
I drove the Stelvio. It does not kick a Macan's ass.
the Stelvio Quadra.
I didn't drive the Quadra.
The Quadra. That thing kicks its ass.
Based on the one I drove, there's no way a better version of it could kick.
Do you like the
ass.
Giulia?
Not really.
Really?
Not really.
Oh, you're in a party of one.
The
No.
one I drove was wonky as shit.
Oh, well, okay. I've driven a bunch that were not wonky. Anyways, the Stelvio creams it. Same money. The GLA 45, which is a little smaller, but like 10 times as fun.
The GLA 45 with the fucking gearbox that doesn't listen to you like
does.
a fucking deaf person.
Yeah, the new one, the second gen one, the 375 horse. The new.
Is there a second
I haven't
gen?
driven the
There's
GLA.
a second gen.
There's a second gen. They bumped it up from 355 to 375 horse, and they remapped the transmission programming. They haven't had press cars, but they're super cool. The GLC 63.
That seems cool.
It'll destroy. I don't.
Wait, is the
Macan's like
GLC the new GLK? It is,
No,
right?
It is. Yeah. Replaced
That
the
with a
GLK.
63 motor
Yeah,
would.
yeah.
It's a 4-liter, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what's
yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's.
the
Can
Macan.
you,
I
Tim,
even
can
like
you look
the
up what that
F-Pace
next
better.
car was? With that top, what did that guy ask about? Top car kit or some shit? Well, sorry, while we were
Porsche 911 Turbo.
I was
top
trying
car.
to do it
I
stealth
couldn't-
without interrupting
I
it.
couldn't look up.
Yeah, can you figure out what that is?
Car design.
Yeah, and then we'll kill the comments.
What is that?
It's I don't know. It's something, but if we're gonna, we should at least see a picture.
Anyways,
this
electric
GLC
911
thing should be pretty cool.
Hey, real quick, I've been hearing a lot of chatter about the 992 911, and apparently it's going to be like beyond sweet. Like they're doing stuff like
That's surprising considering their current cars are so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. They're going to do stuff like, again, just as rumor and innuendo, but like carbon fiber suspension. So like the A-arms and stuff. Because the GT2 has carbon fiber like sway bars and like connecting stuff.
That's cool.
Wow.
So they're just going to have
Carbon fiber suspension.
Jeez.
Yeah, so it'll be stronger and
Unsprung
lighter.
weight reduction.
Yeah. I've just like
That's cool.
without naming names, a friend of mine who buys a lot of Porsches was going to get a Targa because I've convinced him that the Targa is the ultimate 911.
Targa is an excellent GT car.
It's the greatest. And so they're like, his friends at Porsche were like, don't buy one today. Wait till the 992. Trust us. This is the Porsche engineer. So apparently it's like, just,
All right.
yeah, just.
You can always say that. So it's unfortunate. The thing about new cars, it's always like you can get the one now or wait, but like you can always just kind of wait.
Yeah, but it's, I don't know. If the Porsche guys are that geeked out, it
All right.
should be a big step.
Speaking
All right,
of
so-
Porsches, what is this body kit that we're gonna wrap this up? By the way, in 3 minutes.
what are we looking at? This is the top hat.
Top car tuning. What is this? This guy asked about tuning
Top car design 911 turbo. Looks like a body kit.
Pull up the picture of the body kit.
Stinger GTR.
Probably like a
The
tech
Kia?
art type system.
On top of that,
Oh wait,
performance could be increased by 60 horsepower.
Wait, is that a whole carbon shell?
What the
though,
fuck
in
is
middle?
that? Yeah, pull that up. Share that across so everybody can see along with us. Carbon body Stinger GTR. So what do they take off the whole body and replace it with carbon? Jesus.
Or part of the body.
Does it look-
Part of it, right?
That sounds like the remember that roof? They had that
Yeah.
carbon roof that was like.
Here's the most gangster
One
shit:
real
is
good
if
one.
you replace all the body panels with carbon and then leave it looking completely stock.
And
That's the
paint
most
the carbon? It is
yeah,
the
that's the
coolest
most
thing in the
baller
world.
body kit ever. But I don't think that's what happens.
Yeah.
It's 24 pieces.
What is there a picture of it finished? Just show me what it looks like when it's done.
I think this might be
Oh,
it.
that
Full size.
don't do fucking
Wow,
that.
that's horrible.
Whatever that is.
Wow, that's like
do not
that's
do that
like
to
a
your
beetle.
car.
That
It's better than Mansory. It's got some
is
extra
better
creases.
than
in
Anything
it.
is better than Mansory.
I know.
That is
But that's actually-
absolutely heinous.
That's one of the worst things I've seen.
Do not ever do that to your car.
What-
Not
it-
to mention, has that been fucking wind tunnel tested? What happens when you go as fast as that car goes? in
First
that
of
thing?
all, that A-line makes this thing look 3 times thicker than it is. That
it has
hood,
a Dodge Charger body line.
that hood sucks. That hood is like a flattened horseshoe.
Yeah, it's not good.
Everything about it's bad.
Look at the rims. What is it, 23s? Sitting there?
That's why it looks so fat.
Yeah. Don't do that to your car.
Oh my God, everything about it sucks.
Yeah, it's not good.
The roof is bad.
There's a lot going on.
I think that picture's distorted too.
I don't care how much weight that saves.
That
don't
doesn't
fucking
save any
do
weight.
that.
Yeah.
Blah blah. Difference between Audi 4-liter twin turbo and Porsche 4-liter twin turbo.
A ton, weirdly. They're different engines. It's like this is back when like Ford was making 7 V8s for no reason that were all 351s. Yeah, Audi and Porsche each built their, and it's basically like the Porsche engineers are like, no, we're doing our engine, and Audi's like, well, we've been assigned to do our engine.
Block, same block.
No, different.
Everything.
Wow. Everything different.
How about that?
Yeah,
I did
totally
not realize
weird.
it was so different.
Yeah, totally weird.
Let's see. How good are there's a Jack Baruth that runs 205 at Button Willow in a stock Accord. That's totally possible in his Accord with Jack driving. Are normal cars that good now? Yes.
Sure.
Normal cars on a really good set of tires.
The Accord is like,
good
first
car.
of all, is awesome. The new
yeah,
Accord.
the Accord V6. He has an
Yeah.
Accord V6 manual
Yeah.
coupe
Oh,
on
it's
good
super-
tires. That's
super-
going to be fast.
Do you say it was
it's-
better than the new 5 Series? Did
I
you
feel
tweet that?
it
Right.
drives better than the new 5 Series.
I don't like the new
minus
5
M5.
Series.
The M5 is actually really good.
The new regular 5. I drove
Yeah.
the M550i
Not-
and it
not
was
good.
meh.
Yeah, exactly.
whack.
I drove the 530i, E, 540i, M550. They all stink. M5's pretty good.
I haven't done an M5 yet.
Steering still sucks.
Still vague.
But everything else is, it actually like feels good to drive.
Buy
minus
the old
steering.
M6 while you still can, folks.
Yeah.
not-
even
not
that's
long
kinda
for this
meh,
world.
meh.
Okay, last one before we get out of here. Is that the end of them? Great.
Yep.
Should I supercharge my E92 M3 or buy a new M4? What
Do
is
you need
your
a
goal?
warranty? I mean, pure fun factor, I go the first one, supercharge the M3.
Yeah.
A supercharged
Sound great.
E92 M3
Good torque.
is a burnout machine.
Yeah.
If you can't
Surf
find a
machine.
way to get a lot more rear tire on it.
Yeah.
You're just going to
And
blow
then
the tires off.
The new M4, I mean, which one? There's the competition, there's a standard car, there's a CS. If you can afford a CS, get the CS. If
I
you
have not
can't-
driven a CS.
Oh, dude, it's sick. It's like you drive it, you're like, this is exactly what the M4 should have been from day one. Then you're like, oh, it's 120 grand. That's what it takes.
That's what it takes.
Yeah.
Well, the best M4s I've driven have been stock.
Yeah.
I've driven a bunch of modified ones in different ways, and the stock ones were the best.
Let me think for a second. Anthony I was talking about, who sold his and bought an Aston Martin. His was done right, and it was modified, but really, really well. It was good. It was the previous gen. It was a E.
It was a V8
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was
so
a
that's
V8.
what
Yeah,
this
yeah.
dude was asking was,
Yeah.
you know, look, the superchargers on these, like the VF kit that I've driven, it's real fast.
Yeah,
Real
and
fast.
VF. I mean, that's the other thing. Go with a good supercharger brand, or
Yeah.
not even the supercharger, but like have somebody like VF.
VF ESS,
Do it.
I've
Yeah.
heard,
Yeah.
does a good job.
But
you know.
people can do such bad jobs, and they're like, oh, you need 30 pounds of boost, and then you get
no.
a week with the car.
Well, because you'll get a shop or a tuner that will buy the kit from VF or ESS, but install it incorrectly.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with people just think you can add a supercharger and that's all you got to worry about. And it's like, well, you know, your reliability just jumps out the window. And
Yeah.
so you want maybe less boost.
Yep.
And also, an M4 or the new M3 is a very fast car. You you know, the torque you get in the middle,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
even compared to the V8 of the old one, it may surprise you.
You know what I'll say? I'm just going to say this because I love the thing so much and no one ever talks about it. Camaro SS 1LE.
They're very nice.
$46,000.
Great
It will
car.
outrun anything we've mentioned almost. They are so freaking underrated, so good.
I also love
I
the
agree with you.
regular.
They're excellent. They're very fast.
I love the regular ZL1 without the 1LE package. The last
the
gen.
ZL one's killer. But that's like, you know, 60-some thousand, 46,000,
Oh.
like manual, like just.
I had to
The
make a
chassis is
note.
great.
What's that?
ZL1.
Oh.
I meant to email Ron about getting a Z because I just
I
did.
got an email Ron about a ZL1.
We need to get a street car here in LA with the 10-speed because I haven't tried the 10-speed yet.
Oh, it's so.
Is it good?
The manual's better, but like you were talking, but the 10-speed's excellent. It actually,
I drove it in the Raptor.
Yeah, it's better than the Raptor. Chevy
Okay.
did a better tune, but
Well-
the burnouts you can do
With the 10-speed?
So for many years, I thought the Jaguar F-Type R, the 1 year only 2015 model, that was because they went to because everyone was just crashing them because they're undrivable. I had one for a year.
Future collectible.
Totally.
Rear-wheel drive F-Type R.
My God, could that thing do burnouts?
Yeah.
And it was just so weird as a Jaguar. And I was always tell people that's the best burnout car that you can buy, better than a Hellcat. Da da da. And then the ZL1 came out, and Scott Evans was like out sitting in somewhere a couple 100 feet away from me. And I look over, and there's a mushroom cloud. The burnout was the shape of a freaking mushroom cloud. And then we realized, we literally, this is a true story, went through, I should remember exact total, either 5 or 6 sets of tires in a week in that thing. The 10-speed is just sick.
How many gears through which could you do a burnout?
It's the same as a Hellcat.
Is that grammatically correct?
Yes, I knew what you meant.
Well done.
If you can't go past 4th. But
4, okay.
But it's just
4's
like
strong.
It's like the Hellcat.
Yeah.
You know, the Hellcat, you can sit there.
Yeah,
Hellcat's
yeah.
actually pretty sweet.
So
Hellcats
fun.
are sweet.
Yeah,
the wide
for
body
burnouts.
Hellcat I had a lot of fun with.
I gotta email someone else about that. I've never driven a wide body or a Demon.
The wide body makes a big difference.
I'm sure
in
it
the
does.
stability.
Well,
It's
just because you get tire.
a lot of tire.
Yeah, because you have no tire on the.
Yeah. In the last 5 minutes of the show, so I signed a deal with Haggerty,
Yes.
where every other show they have a newsletter, Haggerty.com/newsletter,
Sure.
where they actually send out some really fun articles.
Okay.
And I think I like car investing. Like, I don't know stocks, I don't know any of this shit.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
like car investing.
Okay.
So the deal is that every week we just like have a little chat about one of the articles, and
Okay.
I get to
I'm
pick
probably
the-
gonna get fired for this. But
I
let's
get to
do
pick
it.
the
Let's
article.
do it.
No, you won't. It's fine. Just 10 ways to own a classic for under $10,000.
Oh God.
Yeah, there's
10 ways.
10 ways, and we don't have to spend a lot of time on each one of them.
Okay.
But I think a quick thought about each car, and I will pre-warn you, some of these cars are terrible.
Okay.
I'm glad you said it. I read through the list beforehand.
Okay.
I'm gonna warn you.
I will just
A
say
little
one
shocking.
thing. Can I say one thing real quick? Like Haggerty has hired all my friends. Like,
Yeah.
everyone who works at Haggerty now is like a buddy.
Yeah,
It's great.
That's why
It's
I'm
great.
so happy to be working with them, because all my friends work there when I get to go hang out. It's great.
It's super cool.
But get this, but I don't have to agree with everything that goes in their newsletters.
That's fine.
And some of these cars are awful.
Okay.
But here we go.
Awful's fine.
Some are not.
Okay.
1983 to 92, Volkswagen Golf Mark II, which is the square.
yeah.
The boxy Golf Mark II. Tim, did you find it?
Fun car.
But
I drove
does
one.
that qualify as a classic or just an old Volkswagen?
Under 10.
But classic. That's a car that's under 10. I agree with that part of it.
That's,
I don't.
what,
Is that
30
classic?
years old?
But like a Gen 1.
Okay, it
Mark
includes
1.
GTIs. Mark II,
Oh, Mark II
including
GTI.
GTI.
Now
Including
we're
GTI.
talking. Okay, that's
it was a little
sweet car.
mistitled, but it includes GTI.
Can you get? I guess you can. Yeah, those GTIs. That was the first time I did serious speeding.
Really?
Yeah, like way over 100 miles an hour for a way long time. With my buddy Damon, he had one in college, and we did like serious real, really dumb speeding, like maybe outran some Crown Vics, to just happen to be chasing us for some reason.
I don't know why they had
Yeah.
white
Wow.
doors.
Yeah.
Is that fast?
They were all painted weird. It was all, yeah.
All right, yeah.
Okay.
So serious
Yeah,
speeding.
that's super cool. I
And right now, a number 3 condition driver quality GTI will run you an average of $5,800. And by the way, these vehicles,
and they're good looking too.
owning a classic, the definition that they pick of this is they have a scale from 0 to 100, right?
Okay.
50 is average in terms of appreciation and depreciation.
Okay.
Collectability scale is how
Okay.
they call it. Is the value going up or down?
Okay.
So 100 means the value is skyrocketing, and
So
0
many
means the
numbers.
value is
Okay,
tanking.
yeah.
That's it. 0 to 100.
Yeah.
Tank
How about-
or skyrocket.
yeah, okay.
So all of these are on their way up.
Okay. Yeah, that's a good choice. That's a great
Yeah.
car. That's an underrated, no one thinks about it, super cool car.
Correct.
Yeah.
Here's an obvious one: 84 to 93 BMW E30.
Sure. Although,
I feel like that was talked about 4 years ago.
I was gonna say, which you got to get the IS, and like.
I mean, the M bubble seemed to have popped, which is good because they
Well,
they were crazy.
Yeah,
There's
this does
6
not
figures.
include M3.
I saw.
Those are 6 figures. The other thing I'd say is I think Lemons, 24 Hours of Lemons, has single-handedly destroyed that market because like 90% of all Lemons cars are ISs with the badges removed to look like an E.
They're getting popular for drifting now too. I mean, they're a good platform.
It's platform. You know what though? It's everything's right? Like the steering's great. They're light and they're rear wheel drive.
Right, and also this is under 10K, and the average value for a driver quality one is 9,800. It just skates under there.
Okay. Then there's got to be talking about the IS, right? Because that has a limited slip.
That's what you want.
They do not specify.
Okay, 98. I'm telling you, they're all $500 as far as I can tell. They're like Saabs. They're free cars.
67 to 72 Chevy Suburban. That guy. The big boxy ones, great
Not
looking
a fan of the way
California
they look.
truck.
I'm going
not
to
a
say
fan.
something controversial, and that is that no, you want the one from 73 to 89 or 90, the DeLorean.
Oh yeah,
those are better looking, and
agree.
like
is that
is
DeLorean?
Well, DeLorean was the head of Chevy when that came out, so that's like that. I think that's like. I drove an 89 Suburban one time, and I'm like, this is the crowning moment of General Motors. They have never done anything better. They never will do anything better. It was absolutely perfect.
I had a family friend that had 5 or 6 different Suburbans of that generation. They were basically unkillable.
Yeah, they were just so,
Absolutely.
everything was so good. That's a piece of farm equipment. Now, I would say like
it looks like it too.
The C10 looks way cooler. It's a pickup truck. It's not a Suburban. So I think they're wrong there. And I think like...
Well, the design looks like they were progressing to the next gen Suburban from the C10. Like the C10 is, flat, and it's like, okay, good, we're flat. And then the next Suburban after this was like rounded and with the canted forward tail, right?
Yeah.
And then this one is like an awkward middle.
Can we show the people at home?
This is puberty.
A 73 and on Chevy Suburban. I think that's actually more collectible, and they're just way better. And you could get a diesel. They had diesel Suburbans for like 2 years, which were terrible.
These are much better. Much
right
better
red,
looking.
Yeah. Come on,
especially in that color.
Yeah,
Whoa.
yeah.
That color scheme is just as good as it gets. Right
that needs
there,
so
isn't
much more tire. That's hilarious.
It does need a lot
okay,
more.
that's a bad picture, but that's
No,
the car.
It's just
Yeah,
All right.
that's I think is actually the collectible.
Okay, I'm with you. I think that's a better looking truck.
It is.
Next up, I can't believe I'm saying this, the Porsche 924 is on this list. Which I suppose, look, if all Porsches are collectible, then sure the 924 is included, but yuck.
Musto's cheering somewhere.
So
Why did he buy one?
Does he have one or do 1928?
He has a 928. That's not the same.
So that has like a minivan engine, and also not that I'm a good wrench or anything like that, but once in a while I will not think, and someone will say, "Hey, will you help me with X?" And I'll go, "Yeah." Because I forgot how much I hate working on cars. Like I despise working on cars. Nothing. It's like Legos where your knuckles bleed. It just sucks. And I changed the clutch on one of those. 19 hours is how long it takes to change a clutch.
No, thank you.
Everything comes out of the bottom of the car. Every single thing, because it's a transaxle. It's just nightmare. So no.
All right, no. A big old
944.
no.
I would say
because the headache is worth the driving experience.
A slightly less headache for stuff like that, and then it's got a 3-liter 4-cylinder, which is kind of rad.
Yeah,
and then they're just bad. 924 was not it. It's just not.
I've actually
fast
never
or
driven
fun.
a 924, and I don't really feel I need to.
0 to 60 in 12 seconds.
No thanks.
Yeah.
Next up. Honestly, this thing, just on this picture, it looks like a real serious piece of shit. 73 to 79 Ford F-Series pickup. However, according to the article, quotes are up 12% in the last year.
Yeah, here's what I think about this phenomenon with these old kind of trucky looking trucks.
Tim, zoom in on that, buddy.
So, everything now is an SUV, but really it's a minivan that's dressed to look like an SUV. So people are nostalgic for when trucks looked like trucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I think that's why this looks pretty primitive, like that 70 pre-73 Chevy that they had up there. I get the nostalgia for it. It's cool. Like, it's probably pretty miserable. It's probably be fun to drive because there's nothing in it. Probably like has like a cigarette lighter.
It's terrible in a lot of ways. Doesn't is that what what's her name? Ashley Baker drives the Scotto's wife.
Probably.
Again, I think she has one of those.
They each have she has 4 cars, and then Scott's got 9. They did a video on him. They're like, this hasn't been worked on in 6 years. It's been here for 5 years.
I get it. It's cool looking. I would say go earlier.
Yeah,
and also, again, the F-150 just after this is pretty rad. They're pretty.
Yeah, I got that. Or
the 80s one.
Yeah,
the 80s one was great.
It's pretty rad. I don't know.
The 80s one was great. I'd much rather have an 80s one than one of those.
Or a 60s
Just wait a little
I really
longer.
don't, because they said that this is this generation, they move the marker lights or the blinkers at the top of the headlights, which I really don't like the look of personally.
Yeah, and it's just
It looks like a
sorta-
flipped Rambler.
It's just also just
It actually really does.
it's just it's you
And also in this picture without scale, it looks like a fucking overinflated Subaru Brat.
or a
Hey,
overinflated Ranger.
Or Rampage.
yeah. Okay. That's a
Yeah, moving the fuck on.
Okay.
How about this is my favorite thing on the list, the Corrado, Volkswagen Corrado.
never driven one.
You haven't?
Nah,
Real
missed
fun.
it.
I
Missed
drove
it.
one last year.
Yeah.
You know what was really nice about it? It had like really nice power, but it had the power like slickness of like almost like a BMW inline 6. Like it's like a front wheel drive hatchback that didn't have like the turbo motor feel. It had like a big power NA motor feel. And that was really nice.
Yeah.
And it also seemed to be, I mean, I know they're not the most reliable things, but like it seemed to be built very well. And it felt very solid.
You drove VR6 one?
It was a VR6.
Yeah,
it was not
I mean
the
they're
supercharged
cool
one.
looking,
Yeah.
and look, I've driven plenty of VR6 cars, and they're great. So yeah, it could be good. That said, I feel like 10 years ago we were doing an article somewhere similar to this, and we had that on the list, and they have not increased one penny in 10 years.
That
so.
could be
No one knows
totally
about 'em.
true.
Yeah,
They're probably tough to sell. The one I drove, the guy was trying to sell, and I think it took him a little while to sell. It was really nice.
Well, there are cars
kind of
that
obscure,
some
man.
people love that no one cares about.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain cars where that's just
I mean,
the case, you
like,
know?
let's try presenting to someone like, hey, 90s Volkswagens are going to get collectible. And you're going to have people go, "Rah," and now have you heard of the Corrado? And they're going to go, what? I mean, the GTI, like the second, I mean, granted, it was the second gen. But even that, like you for a second were like, what are we talking
Well, I
about
was
right
just
now?
thinking of like a Jetta. I'm like, that was horrible. But then
Yeah, but GTI, we love the GTI, but this is like a more obscure thing. And I think they're great looking. And my
It's
best
cool.
friend had
It's-
one,
it's
but
a
it's like,
G-
it's
G-
real
This
out
Audio
drove much
and-
nicer than GTIs of that period. Yeah, it was fucking sweet.
Yeah.
They're cool.
Really, really
Okay,
nice.
maybe
Not
I'll
reliable.
say I haven't driven it, but I'll see to your expertise.
I think
Yeah.
the problem as the owner of the really nice one that I drove said to me, the problem with is that most of them are steaming hunks of shit, and
Yeah.
parts are comparatively expensive considering you're talking about a Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So, but they're pretty nice. Next one we can just skip right over because it's a fucking 1946 Willys Jeep.
Whoa!
Hey, it's dope.
What do you that saved democracy right there? Come on, you give it a little
but
respect.
I just like, who cares?
I care. Those are fun. Those are
That
super
is
cool.
a farm equipment.
It is literally, but it's that. In fact, so that hang on. So you know you beat the Nazis with it, then you beat the Japanese with it, right? And then 1946. Hey, should we sell them? Who's going to buy them? Farmers. That was the idea. Then it turned out actually like weekend adventure types wanted them. Farmers actually still wanted tractors. It's cool. That's a good. If there are that cheap, that's a good thing to buy.
All right, moving on. And
It's a cool, you know what,
You and Jethro should work together.
It's a museum
I
piece for
couldn't
$9,000.
give less of a fuck
Really?
about that thing.
Really?
No. What am I going to do with that?
You're gonna go off roading with it.
No, I'm
No,
not.
you're not.
Yeah, you could.
No, I'm not.
He's not.
No, I see nothing.
Jethro
appealing
literally
about it.
every
that.
week sends me an email like, "What are we doing next? No SUVs, please."
Well, the median value is not very little, $9,000.
That's a good buy. They're not going to be in that condition, but that's a good buy.
That shit'll be. Is that going up? That's gonna be
it's going to go
$9,000
up.
forever.
Yeah. It'll go up.
All right, moving on. This one I like. 87
John
to
Ward
91.
makes these things for crying
What?
out. That's how he started with the CJ2A.
Good for fucking John Ward. I don't care.
Ah,
Now we're talking, right? 87 to 91 Bronco, aka the OJ Bronco.
So I will say at Barrett Jackson.
Actually, it's the one before the OJ Bronco.
No, that's
Apologize.
that's
That's
definitely the
OJ.
OJ Bronco.
No, the OJ
That's
Bronco was a 95. It was the one after with the slightly more rounded nose.
Really?
This is the one before
That's
that.
got to be a facelift. Because by the way, there's no. Okay, so first of all, Haggerty.
Correct.
There's no way anything was a 4-year model run. Ford would run that shit out for like 10 years.
Give me a
So-
picture of the
Of the
1995
Search
Ford
OJ
Bronco.
Bronco.
So I have my wife got me this thing. It's
See, look at the different front end, son.
it's the same car.
No, it's
though.
the 95, 96 front end, bro.
Yeah, but it's the same car
All right,
mechanically.
fine. All right, so let's amend.
Yeah,
87
so
to
real quick,
96.
my
Ford
wife
Bronco.
got me a picture. It was the lead photo of the LA Times of the OJ chase.
Yeah.
and the guy got a Pulitzer Prize for it, and she got
from
me,
the chopper.
No. He.
I think I know the photo you mean.
Yeah, this dude who took the picture, he'd moved from like Kansas the week before to LA. He had no idea where he was. He had like Thomas guides, and they got a tip that OJ was on some freeway and it was wrong. So, but he was with a lot of other news guys, so he just followed them. He had no idea where he was going, and they got right on the 405, and he climbed up on a news van. Like he was an LA Times photographer. They don't have vans. Climbed up, got one picture, and then the camera guys like ripped him off because he shouldn't have been up there, but he got the shot, and I have like a print of it.
Was it the head-on photo?
Yeah, it's the head-on photo with like 23 Crown Vics and
I
Caprices
remember
following
that.
you.
Yeah,
So awesome. So these at Barrett Jackson, these and K5 Blazers were going for like crazy money.
you ever drive a K5 Blazer?
Yes.
It's one of the worst vehicles I've ever driven.
Well, it's like that Suburban we were talking about, but here's the thing. Again, people are nostalgic for SUVs that looked and felt like actual SUVs, not minivans cut to look like SUVs.
So
I
they're
drove one of
going
these-
for good money at Barrett, huh?
Yeah, this is a totally smart buy.
My friend had one of these in college. He let me borrow it sometimes, and I just remember getting out of when the whole school got snowed in. The school got closed for 2 days in Colorado, which is super rare. Happened once in like the 14 years I lived there.
All it did was snow in Colorado.
It does. It snowed so
so
much
you're
they were
used to
like
it.
no
Yeah.
one can get to school, no teacher can get to
I
school.
gotcha, yeah.
But this thing just drove itself over a 2-foot snowdrift on either side, unparalleled
That's
parked,
good.
and was the only thing driving down the road. But it felt like a looser Crown Vic, like a lifted.
well, it
looser
probably
Crown Vic.
was a looser.
It probably was, right?
Yeah.
The other thing, real quick, probably the best joke in the history of that show, Arrested Development, was he goes to buy a Bronco and he's like, "Oh no, we did change the name because of of OJ." Oh, okay, well, what's the new model? Oh, the Escape. So good,
awesome.
and it's so true.
It is. Next, Tim, real quick. We got two more. This one,
This is amazing.
93 to 96
get it.
Cadillac
I mean,
Fleetwood.
you're not. It's only going to depreciate. That car will never appreciate.
This
Yes.
is one of those things where it says median value 2,900. So
Yeah.
like, it's gone up by $200, 10%.
I mean,
Yeah.
No.
yeah. Just,
Better Call Saul. This is the Better Call Saul on
no.
Netflix.
Saul had a Seville. No, he had
did
a
he
much
have a
smaller car.
Seville?
Yeah. This is the Broham. This is
I think
this
he
is
had
the
I think
last
he had
of the
a
real rear drive full size.
I think he had a Fleetwood.
No, it's
I think he
definitely
had a
Seville.
Fleetwood, not a Seville.
Google it.
I think Better Call
I think you're
Saul
right.
had a Fleetwood.
That's like if you bought Sprint when it's $3, it goes up 10%. And you're like, woo! Unless you can buy
You mean
1,000
Better Call
million
Saul
shares, who
Cadillac?
cares?
No, it's a Seville for sure.
I think it's a Fleetwood.
No, images.
I think it's a motherfucking.
Better Call
Fleetwood
Better
Bounder?
Call Saul Cadillac.
I think it's a.
There's no images for it. Just put in
give me-
Cadillac.
just give me-
Cadillac.
trust me.
Because that's
That-
a Seville, homie.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's a DeVille.
No, that's a DeVille.
Oh, whatever. DeVille's a two-door Seville.
DeVille.
It's not a Broham.
No, it's 4 doors.
okay. It doesn't matter. It's
a
not. It's a
four-door
front
fucking
driver.
DeVille.
It's not a rear drive Broham. Actually, pronounced Brougham, but it's Broham.
It's the. Oh wait. Oh, the Fleetwood was rear drive. Was it Caprice based?
yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize
Yeah,
that.
it's a Buick and
Oh,
Caprice.
the
Yeah,
same as
yeah.
the fucking Roadmaster. Now
Yeah,
I
it's
can
a Roadmaster.
Now I
Yeah,
can
yeah,
see
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Oh, I'm an asshole.
that C-pillar.
I thought it was the front drive one. And the last one to make Johnny happy is the newer F-150,
yeah.
80 to 86. That's the better one. That's a
Yeah.
great
way better
picture.
looking than that
That's
F100.
super cool.
That's the one I
Although
recommend.
they basically had like 5 pickup trucks on this list.
Pickup trucks are hot.
It's super
The
hot.
list is based on like improved percentages. So old vintage pickup trucks are hot right now.
Okay.
I think in addition to being like more quote pure, they're also smaller.
They're tiny, and
A
you can
regular-
load stuff into them
yeah.
from the side.
They're still real
Yeah.
strong.
I'm not. I'm normal size. I'm about 5'11", and I have this F-250 that's been like the bane of my existence because I live on the tiniest street in the whole world. And so I had to write an update of it, and just for fun, I walked up to it and the sidewall, and I stuck my arms out, and like it touches. We have video. It touches here, so you can't even go into the bed to lift anything. It's so tall.
Wow.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, huge.
I mean, that's why
Ridiculous.
Tacomas are still so popular. They're like the only normal size pickup truck.
Well, that's why the Colorado and the Ranger market is like heating up because like you can do.
I
stuff
drove the
with them.
F-150 Platinum like a month ago. Big. I mean, it's super expensive with a bunch of stuff you don't need.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're huge.
And remember, the F-150 weighs 5,000 pounds. The F-250 weighs 8,000 pounds. Wow! And they make a 350 and a 450.
Yeah,
that are civilian
fucking
cars.
Crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
I think we just did a good show, Johnny Lieberman. Yeah, we
oh my
went long.
God.
I know we
Wow.
went long.
Like 2 hours.
We did, and
Plus.
we
Good
had
show.
really good retention on the live stream as well.
That's good.
We had some of the highest
Awesome.
retention
I love
we've
it.
seen. Yeah, we've seen yet on live stream. So thank you, live people, for watching,
Thank you,
contributing
guys.
on the
Stream
super
stat is
chat.
good. We've never had that
And
before.
our stream status is good.
Buy a lottery ticket.
How
You
about
got
that?
to cut me in on these donations.
Fucking yeah, dude. If this shit starts taking off, I'll cut in royalties. I'll cut out the ads, and then I cut everybody in. I'm not greedy.
By
We're
the
not
way,
greedy over here.
you don't have to do that though.
You're bringing us. You're the bartender, which I like.
Yeah. Well,
we're gonna. You know what we're gonna do is we're gonna get one of those fucking plaques and put it here like this is your bar stool.
Yeah.
You know, like it's
well,
like
let's. I like that, but what we should do is do like a smoking tire barrel pick.
Fuck. Let's.
Okay.
How do we do that? We have to go to Kentucky?
Yeah, you gotta. Well,
okay.
You get to go to Kentucky.
I'm racing in Kentucky in July.
Where?
NCM.
I don't know that one.
Bowling Green, the track at the Corvette factory.
What race
I
is
just
there?
went to the Corvette
AER.
factory.
Oh, cool.
I'm racing
That's
AER
a
there.
fun track.
Have you been to the Corvette factory?
Yes.
It's a riot.
It is.
It's like it's just great.
Do you know
It's
my
just
fun?
great.
It's like if you took all the Corvettes away and put in 86 Chevy Luminas, it would make total sense.
It's just one of those things, and I think this is how a lot of Corvette buyers are. But like other cars just don't exist in the minds of the people creating the museum.
Yeah.
You know, but like, yeah, it's a strange thing.
Did you see Precision Never Rests?
No.
It's etched in the glass above the entrance to the factory, and it's crooked.
So I just went by myself. I was just driving through, and I'm like, I should stop and just take the tour. And like, I just felt so bad because like the guy's like, anybody here ever heard of the Nuremberg?
Oh no!
And I'm like, the Nuremberg? He's like, Nuremberg. I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it. No one else. And like, oh, I'm like, I've actually driven it. Like, oh wow, like, what's it like? I'm like, yeah, it's a pretty good track. And just stuff like that. Like, it was.
Well, they have a really good track right across the street called NCM, and it's a really nice racetrack.
Okay,
it's
compact. What are you racing there?
An NC MX-5 with the road and track team in AER.
Oh, very cool.
I really enjoy racing AER. It's a good series.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if we can do a barrel pick by then, but that's the way to go.
Well, I'm gonna
And
stop
then
by.
you can like those are your giveaways.
I'm popping in for sure.
You got to buy the barrel, but then you get a barrel of whiskey. So
how much is the barrel?
yeah, it's probably like $6,000, but you probably
But
depends.
it's a barrel of whiskey.
But you get like 200 bottles. So
That's awesome.
yeah, it
And
depends.
can you put your name on it or whatever you
Yeah,
want?
let's just say, well, it depends. Like, so if it was Buffalo Trace, you would get a little gold sticker that would say "Smoking Tire."
Awesome.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Stocking stuffers for a decade.
Yeah, exactly. Well, no, it's only 200 bottles. It's like a couple months.
Stocking stuffers for 2 years.
That's a decade. You just don't have that many friends.
Yeah, I have
Yeah,
6
yeah.
friends. That's right.
Yeah.
Wow. What do you, Motor Trend on Demand?
Well, that was
Look it
just
up.
Motor Trend. So
No,
like,
it's all Motor
yeah,
Trend.
Velocity is being renamed Motor Trend. Everything Discovery Channel does with cars is now Motor Trend.
Whoa.
Turbo TV in Europe is now Motor Trend. There's a new Motor Trend channel in Italy. There's a new Motor Trend channel in Germany. We're taking over the whole world.
Holy shit.
Wow.
Yeah, Motor Trend, Motor Trend, Motor Trend. It's crazy. It's really it's nuts. It's
Speaking
totally nuts.
of globalization,
Yes.
did you hear about Jamal?
no, oh yeah,
Hamidi?
oh my god.
Shout out to Jamal Hamidi.
So
What'd he get?
he pieced out of Ford
after 27 years,
having presented the Ford G. Here's the repertoire. GT 500 2007, Ford GT 2005. Sorry, starting
Yeah,
order.
yeah,
Ford
yeah.
GT,
Yeah.
old Ford GT.
yeah. Oh,
GT
yeah, you're forgetting like GTH. He did the Hertz Rent Racer.
Hertz
Jamal was
Rent-A-Race.
everywhere.
GT90 concept car.
Yeah.
All supercharged Shelby Mustangs.
Yeah.
All of those,
Yeah,
all
yeah, yeah.
up to now.
Yeah.
GT350.
Yeah,
And of course
Raptor,
our
Raptor.
Raptor. New Ford GT.
Yeah, and did he do the small cars at all? Like the
No, he
STs?
didn't do
Okay,
the
so
STs.
he was just
or S,
big
but,
American Vs.
But that's pretty much the range of his shit at Ford.
And did you hear where he went?
He went to be in charge of like fucking everything at Jag Land Rover.
Well, it's SVR. So
SVR.
all
He's
their
in charge of
performance
all the fast
variants.
shit.
Yeah, like
Cool.
well, no, not they have the fast shit, and then they have the SVR, which is like it's crazy. Yeah,
Super velocity
the
for real.
over-the-top fast
Yeah.
shit. He called me and he was like, I got a new job at SVR. I was like, oh, they're going to love you. They have a great sense of humor over there.
They do.
They do.
They're like, let's make it the driftiest,
Yeah.
loudest
But
sedan ever.
he has to move to England.
Good for him.
Yeah,
That's great.
Has to from Detroit.
You
Like,
get
could be
to
enough
leave
fun.
Detroit.
Yeah.
But
wow. Yeah, no,
congrats-
that was
congrats
crazy
to
news.
Jamal at being a fucking boss, and now he's going to build us some Jags and some
Yeah,
Land
and
Rovers.
Very
Maybe-
fun. They already were fun.
Oh, and maybe they'll like you could. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah.
Anyway.
Jamal's awesome. Yeah.
Motor Trend on Demand,
Just
Jonny
Motor
Lieberman,
Trend everything.
on Instagram.
Yeah, that's all there is. Instagram, Motor Trend on
all there
Demand.
is.
Watch my videos. Watch other videos.
Thank you. Zach's one takes are now live.
they're up.
We're
Oh,
doing
really?
Mondays and Wednesdays.
One
We're
up
trying
today.
to do. For
Well,
I gotta
Zach.
watch this. I've never watched them.
Today now, so
Good stuff.
Well, it's getting used to it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, dude, one of my biggest fears in life is the rest of this fucking audience finding out how much better at me he is than this.
No way.
It's going to happen.
Not true. I have a long high mountain to climb.
Yeah, no, I have the same
happen.
thing with Jethro, where I'm just like in awe of this fucking guy.
It's not fair. He's English.
Not only is he English, he's thin. Actually, we got a similar problem.
He looks like Jethro.
Yeah, younger, thin.
Yeah, but
better
so
driver.
Matt was great. He came on the first day to help me do the safety spiel and stuff, and I came back after the first car. I'm like, you ever forget some of the categories? And he's like, yep. You just kind of forget either the power number, or you're caught up driving and talking to the person, which is great.
Well, that's
but you
what's
just
hard
forget
about
stuff.
one take, because we started doing. We're not the cars aren't moving, but we're doing extras.
Yeah.
So just a daily video, and it sucks because when you do a real video, you edit it and you get to hey, what's the horsepower?
Yeah, you
and
got a little notepad down here.
And I was doing the Target today, and I'm like, so instead of 400 horse. Oh wait, they refreshed that. It's 420. And they're not gonna do it again. I'm like,
that's life, dude.
And I'm like, whatever. It's 450 to get the GTS. Go to Porsche.com to find out the real number of the S.
There you go.
Nice recovery.
Yeah, but
yeah, no, you get used to that.
Yeah.
But so Zach's got some.
That's awesome, man. Good for you.
Real
watch Zach's
fun.
videos.
It was
They're really good.
real fun to do. I'm stoked.
Yeah,
Real stoked.
I'm gonna watch them, and it's welcome to the big leagues. I don't know.
No, not yet.
No,
The
he's going to
Talking
be a
Club.
heavy hitter.
The
very
Talking
soon.
Driving Club.
Yeah, no, that's
the Talking
fun.
and Driving Club. I like that.
Here's the thing.
It's fun.
We should get Talking and Driving Club T-shirts.
Just to toot our own horns, it actually isn't easy, and that's why there aren't a lot of people that do it well.
That's hard.
It is really hard.
It honestly comes super easy to me.
And me too. I got lucky.
It's just I got very lucky.
We got
and
a
I
lot
can
of
do it.
practice.
And I have a
I
lot
would
of
say
practice.
people I got practice in Thad because we would all go driving and talk to each other while driving because we're talking about the car. And so that was very helpful for me. And what I realized is that the passengers are not used to riding and talking, especially when I'm hustling someone's car and they're not used to that, and then they get quiet. It's very fun.
Well,
Welcome
that's
to
the
my
other
life.
thing is you get used to going balls out on a canyon road, and most people get real silent, leaning way back in the chair, and sort of.
Yeah, dude, I took out a guy's 850 horsepower BMW 335 that he'd never been in a canyon. It was a runway racing car, and I know this road really well.
Yeah.
And he was having a time.
Yeah, I
happening.
took out a cop the other day, and he just really wanted to go for a ride.
Yeah,
and he was just funny because he's like, where did you get your training? And I'm like, I just do this every day. Officer.
Can you get a fucking T-shirt with that on it?
That'd be great.
Where did you get your training, officer?
He's like, we can't catch you. You can't keep up with that.
That's maybe last thing, but what I love about the highway patrol these days is they're just yep, we just let them go because the Explorers are so shitty.
Yeah,
they
don't like 'em,
can't
right?
chase cars.
Yeah,
They
universally they hate the Explorers because they don't give them the turbo motors or anything.
No, and the only guys that like them are the big dudes that are 6'4". They're like, oh, it's great, and the little guys are like, I fucking hate it.
Yeah, we've had people complain about them and shit.
Yeah, they can't catch you, so keep going.
The Smoking Tire does not endorse this idea.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Allegedly.
Don't do that.
And you know what? They work for a living, man. Don't if they catch you, they catch you.
Be nice to the police.
Yeah,
it
pays off in the long run
and the short run.
Yeah, that too.
Thank you for listening, everybody. I'm not going to do the whole fucking spiel. You've heard it. Have a good night. Thank you for sticking with us for 2.5 goddamn hours.
Jesus.
Thanks for the bourbon, buddy.
Hey, man,
That's how you get a show going for 2.5 hours. You start feeding us fucking 620 proof bourbon.
Now it's only 122 proof or something. Yeah.
Thank you, Johnny.
122.2.
Thanks for listening, live people. Thank you, audience. We love you all. Good night.